Thank you. Welcome back from the short break. Council, shall we continue? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Yes, let the witness be brought in, please.
Thank you.
Welcome back, General.
Bismillah, General.
Thank you, Council.
Council.
Now I want to move to a different topic. After serving for 3 years plus as CDS, you were charged with treason. You were arrested and charged with treason. You were prosecuted and eventually convicted and subsequently pardoned. Could you please run us through what happened?
Correct, Council.
Tonyala Council.
It happened that in 2009,
2009 Sankono,
at the time I was Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambian Armed Forces, that I got arrested alongside other people.
Could you provide their names, please?
Abdullah
Juf.
Go ahead, yes.
And then
Yusuf Ezedin, alias Rambo,
Rambo,
Brigadier General Omar B. Mbai,
Yes, go ahead.
Major Lamin Baji,
Lamin
Bo Baji, Major Kausu Kamara, alias Bombarde, Deputy Inspector General of Police,
Police
Modu Gay.
Did you mention two names? Jalo and also Modugay.
Yes.
Modugay was what?
Was Deputy Inspector General of Police.
And Jalo? Did you say a Jalo?
No, I don't think I mentioned Jalo.
Okay, then proceed, please. Proceed.
Yes, I'm trying to recall some of the names.
Gorseka?
Yes, Jibril Ngorseka.
Proceed.
And so can I be guided? I'm forgetting other names.
Yes, those were, I believe those were the people, according to this report. Ultimately, some 2 people did not come to trial.
No, one person.
One person.
No killing.
In fact, the person was present in the early stage of the trial. So, like I said, myself, alongside those names I've mentioned, got arrested in respect of an alleged coup against the President of the Republic, who then was Yahya Jammeh. I was at a football match. Soldiers went to my house First, in the one in Kololi,
Follow member Kololi Tata Wolto, follow.
I was not found there.
Mantaraji.
And they proceeded to the one in Brusubi.
It ended Kata Nabundo to Brusubi.
Wrong. Not Brusubi. Bijilo. They proceeded to my house in Bijilo. And I was not found there. I then received a call from my wife in Kololi that soldiers came there in 2 vehicles, fully armed. And when they arrived in my house in Bijilo, that wife also called me to inform me. Then I was in Serekunda East Football Park. I was with a close friend, Ibrahim Ajalo. When I received the information, I told my wife that I was coming to the house to meet them. My car was blocked by other spectators. I left it with my friend whom I was with at the time, Ibrahim Ajalo. I chartered a taxi and returned back to my house in Bijilo. It was that very day that my wife returned from her trip to the United States. The time she arrived in the house, the soldiers were already there as well. But hence they didn't find me in. They left 2 plain clothes around. As I arrived back in the house, they approached me and explained that they've come to arrest me. But they suggested that they will call their colleagues so that they will arrive with the vehicle. And that happened. Then I was put in the car.
Could you tell us the soldiers that came to arrest you?
Actually, the soldiers that came, mostly they were junglers. And they were very junior ranks. And I could not recognize them facially. And I don't know them by names. But I could recall 2 people. I could recall the presence of Bora Kwali. And I could recall the presence of Sol Baji.
And these were all junglers?
Yes, the ones who came, they were all junglers because they were armed and dressed up in jungler uniform, which was black.
Yesterday you told us that you didn't know Bora Koli was a jungler.
He wasn't dressed in jungler. I told you that officers, they don't dress in jungler uniform. They put on normal uniform, the camouflage or the green. Bora walked under me before at the State House. So of course I was able to know him.
But nonetheless he was a jungler.
At the time I was at the State House, he wasn't.
But by the time he came to arrest you, you could confirm that this person was a jungler.
Counsel, at the time of my arrest, he was putting on the normal camouflage. Different from the uniform the other junglers were putting on. So all that time I could not establish that he was a jungler. But what I could establish was they were all from the state guards. Because he was putting on that uniform.
It's not an important point. Proceed, please.
So we left my residence in Bijilo, and they decided to drive through my residence in Kololi.
Did they tell you who gave the order for your arrest or the authority for your arrest?
Certainly, when I asked them why my arrest, they said they've been sent by the IGP at that time, S.R. Baji,
Iko otumo memu police la nyaton ko ti esa baji wala yeki.
And the head of the NIA, Numo Kujabe.
Ani NIA la nyaton ko numo kujabe.
That was the message they gave me.
Tele yo kibaro le fa.
General.
General.
Yeah. You are CDS.
Mu CDS sojarol bela kundongo.
Does the IGP have any power to come and arrest you?
IGP police la nyato go wesa mboso la kanete no kanke muda.
In real sense, he cannot.
Do nyato nya asembo tala.
But if soldiers
Bari sojarol
who used to walk under me
menu kadu ko kente koto.
were the ones present in the arrest,
Me alon ko wolle fo dabe mutaro molu kono.
they did the arrest.
Tele du yem muta.
Certainly,
Koto
I have to take it as yes.
nsafo no ko ha.
Well, you have established that legally it cannot and should not happen.
Ye sabatindi ko luwa la karola imao amao semboso pour kana no kanke muda.
Correct.
Onya.
The soldiers who are present there, legally, can they take any orders from the IGP or from the head of the NIA?
Sojarol menu tata je kane no kan luwa la karola ni ajube fo woliye semboso to le bang pour ka kango buta IGP bulu bang waranto na ila nyadon ko bulu pour kanete no kamba.
Especially to come and arrest the CDS of the army.
Surtout kana mo no muda me yalon ko atel sojarol bela kundongo di bankoka.
Council, let me take you backwards a bit so that it will be clear. When I was removed from, in fact, that time I was removed from office and redeployed again to the foreign service. And eventually appointed as Gambia's ambassador to Taiwan. In fact, I got the letter from the foreign service. But at that time, the foreign minister was not in town. And I was asked to wait for until he arrives, so that I'll be deployed to my area of posting. So before he could return from his trip, that was when this incident happened.
So you were not CDS at the time?
I was retired CDS already.
But even in spite of that, is it normal for soldiers of the Gambia Armed Forces to be taking their instructions and their orders from the police or from the NIA?
Gambia soldier role pour kata kate no kan mele alongo kawbota soje police la karola waranto NIA la karola kade no kan kade muda.
Under normal situation, it is not. It cannot happen that way. But when I saw that all those who came to arrest me were from the State House, under the State Guards Battalion, certainly I knew that the order must have come from a higher authority. I've said it here yesterday that junglers, they receive their instructions, orders from the president. So certainly, I knew that they cannot come on their own.
So certainly, you know they were ordered by Yaya Jammeh to come and arrest you.
Men sabota wala nyindi ko men senata wala nyindi ko kamo nyi Yaya Jammeh de kamo di la pour kane no kanke.
That's the truth, isn't it?
Wala mutonya de
It could be either from Yaya Jammeh or from a higher authority, because I was not the CDS. There was a CDS at the time.
Asikeno Yaya Jammeh si kamo di barbitu asikeno ya bonyato kalu fana mbulukato tumu manke CDS.
But General, now that you are a CDS, you are a civilian, the CDS himself would not have any reason or any authority to arrest you.
In general, ita mu civilian only. CDS fa membe je. Oto hanik samboso ra the council la pour kana ino kanke muda.
Under the law, he would have no business with you as a civilian.
Lua koto aman samboso pour kana ino kanke mala men ita manke service la de sai.
It should be the police who should come and do it.
Police le nyana na ino kanke muda. Ba civilian la mu disira.
You are right, Council. But in the military setup, certainly at that time, I was newly removed from the military.
Mbondi sojariato akutake.
And certainly, as a former general,
Andu wairi nenemu general ultimu.
certainly I remain under the army,
Andu hanimbi wato hanimbi nako be sojaro lukoto.
whereby operationally,
Nindu ko be tamakang.
certainly they could call on me.
Hanimbi sen commandi nole.
So seeing them,
Birimeje.
I could not resist
Nte balan nola.
because I know that at the end of the day,
Nalon ko ko bandulato.
reasons will be given why I was arrested.
Dalilo be fulanye ne muna na yamuta.
General, you told us that these junglers did not take their instructions from the CDS.
General ye infunyele ko nyi jongulal ibukela kamuta CDS sojaro la nyarongo.
In fact, to recall your testimony of head,
Pour que ila sedandiro nyi ndia bondi kungo kono.
you said to this commission,
Ye info commission ngonyati ngola janko.
there was no CDS in the army
CDS te nyimbanku sojaro kundaro.
who had control over the junglers.
Me yalon ko ale so jongulal la kango atelbe marle jongulal la.
The junglers were being controlled by a higher and different authority.
Jongulal itol membe marali la wala ko santor ko le marali tolla.
That was State House.
Wala bankola korda bato.
That's what you said. Isn't it?
Ye wala fo wonde.
Certainly, that was what I said.
Yo nyanga ole fo.
So the CDS
Silang CDS
could not have sent the junglers
ate se jongulal kino la
to come and arrest you.
pour kateno kan kemuda.
So only one person
Mo killing
could have sent the junglers
wala si jongulal
to
kino
come and arrest you.
kateno kan kemuda.
And that person was Yaya Jammeh.
Omari wala miyaya jammeti.
True or false?
O nya fafania.
Council, yes, I said that the president gives instructions and directives to the junglers.
Council to nyala ngafu ko president le kaya maro nin kawlu di jongla sol.
But I saw senior officers also in the passing of Bora Koli and Suleiman Baji,
Nganya ton kadolu fanalu jije men be ko Bora Koli and Sol Baji.
who were also serving at the State Guards Battalion.
Fanalu be State Guards Battalion ko.
But General, in all honesty,
Generally so
this is a simple
Tilonga.
point, and let's deal with it quickly.
Nyimuku senare ngode ngako nga jube tari arenge.
Yaya Jammeh ordered your arrest. That is the truth. That is the plain truth.
Ya jamme wala kamodi purila mutwala wala mtuonya tonya senare ngode ngode.
It's the plain and naked truth. Accept it and we move on.
Tonya son wala ronga tam ngaten.
Council, I think if you allow me, I will reach there.
Ni sonta mbe futa la jele council.
I think there is time for every action.
Nalo watu bijele ko kundi memu ketati.
And of course, my knowledge also came at a time.
Kadu nalo kulu longo fananata awato.
So that is why you should allow me to learn.
Wala na niambula mfutata.
When I reach there,
Mfutata je.
we know who sanctioned for my arrest.
Balo na le jumale kamodi puri ya muta.
Well, you know who sanctioned your arrest. Just tell us.
Ete ya lonne jumale
You
kamodi
don't have
purila
to go
mutu.
through a process of discovery.
Manjara puriye mini tafaka fanya kuol katama tenin.
You know that X person ordered your arrest. Tell us who ordered your arrest.
Ete ya lonne nyimmo kar wale kamodi ila mutarola. Fanya meya kamodi purila mutaro.
And so I think to have a smooth conversation,
Council puruka diamu tembende ka sono yandi.
you should allow me
Sisilo dinna.
to give an explanation
Puruna kusata.
so that my message will, so that my information will flow.
Puruna kibaro si ten.
If I should
I
be
will oblige
interrupted,
you. Go ahead.
if I should be interrupted,
Ni kanako mokuntu.
I might lose track of the sequence of events.
Nisi filino kulu bulata nyolo manyami.
Fair enough. Go ahead and give the explanation that you want to
Then
give.
yeah for tilindo.
I was taken away that evening towards night,
Ulunguraro kata suto kayen samba.
and I found myself at the NIA headquarters,
Ndara mfanje ena ela korda bakono.
where I was seated
Dame yen sindi.
in the waiting room.
Batur dulato.
I stayed there for 3-4 hours.
Mbije fumontoro wati sabakata wati nani kang.
But then I was sitting there with the former Inspector General of Police, Esa Baji,
Bautumo ni mole bije memu poliso be nyato nkoti watembo Esa Baji.
along with the Director General of the NIA, Numo Kujabi.
Aning ena eola kuntonko numo kujabi.
So when I met them,
Bilin ni benda.
we all sat together.
Mbe sita nyokang.
But all that time they could not tell me the reason for my being there.
Baru wato be ima fono nye dalilo
General.
ya mfutandije.
General, let me ask a question here.
Waro nyini ngaro nyini ngajan sang.
Now you're sitting with the top bra
Silang ifela ibesire nintanko bunda nyatonko.
of the police.
Police wala karola.
And when you were being arrested,
Biri yemuta.
you were told that the police ordered your arrest.
Yenyim foenda ko police wala kamodi puri ila mutola.
But now you're sitting with the IGP.
Silang ifela be ni police wala fawala kundonko besiri.
He could not even tell you why you were there.
Ata fama fono e dalilo me asabu beje.
Isn't that ironic?
Fo manga kudi me anon ka jahalo war.
Council, yes, that was what happened.
Council tonyala wala keta.
Until when I had to ask him,
Ani fo watu me ngani
he
ninka.
told me that just wait,
Akonye mbatu.
we'll have a meeting later on.
Mbe bengo kelale nyato
We are waiting for some people.
nka modol le batu.
So I sat there with them.
Mi sitaje.
After a while,
Nufu ameta domandi.
then Modugay walked in along with Bombarde Kausu Kamara.
Tumo le moduge duntanang anin kausu kamera bombarde.
They greeted me
Yang konto.
and they walked past to another office.
Itamitana itatadun office dokono.
So I was wondering all along,
Watu bembe mira kan.
what happened that I am here
Mbeja men kan.
until the Inspector General is here, of police is here, the deputy is here,
Hani fo ngani mutako police la nyaton ko bijam men simbe o kawo fanam bijam.
and even Kausu Kamara Bombarde, who was posted in Kanilai, is also here.
Hani fo bombarde kausu kamera membe do ko la kanilla o fanam bijam.
So after a while,
Rin ko ta fami ta domandi.
Esa Baji and Numoku Jabi
Esa baji ni numo ku jabi.
said to me that they'll be coming for me.
E fo nyim foko ibinan kan.
So they got up
Iwulta
and they walked away to another office.
idunta office dokono.
And from there I saw Bombarde and Modugay
Jelo mungaje bombarde ni modugay.
being taken away. They came and passed me where I was sitting again.
Yewlu fanalu samba ndum ko takay na tay tambitan nambe sirin ndame.
Then came up to after midnight, around 1 a.m.
Tata hani fo talantan ni flasuto wo
Then I was called. I was
yam
called.
yam kumandi.
Then I followed and then saw myself in a conference room
Mbula teno man tata mfanje bembu kono.
In which premises?
Sansanjuma kono.
in the NIA headquarters.
Na ela korda ba kono.
So in the conference room,
Wo bembu kono je
I met a panel
a panelo taraje
who broke the news to me
menge nyin kibaro fonye ko
that my arrest was
ko namuto mu menti
as a result of a planned coup
ko kudeta fere sitiri mo yamuta wala kam
that I was involved in.
o ndabe wala kono.
I denied the allegation,
Na so
and there they gave me a form
jelo ye kaito dinna
to
kaiti
make my
safeta
statement.
prinsin na kuma kan lu safeta.
But in that process,
Bari wo kono
they asked me if I knew who Rui Jabi Gassama was.
ye nyinin ka fo wi jabi kasama jumala muti.
General, I have given you the room that you asked for to explain.
Silo dilale silo men kani pour yefan na ko sara.
My question as to who ordered your arrest has still not been answered.
Nam nyinin karo men wala nyindi kume kamodi pour ila mudola hansa o manjabi.
And you have spoken for about 5 minutes.
Idi amada men bida mondro minute lu.
Perhaps it is best that you answer that question and then you continue on this narrative.
Sikeno men betile na fang yo ina nyinin karo ya jabi folo ina na tende ila intende sara rola.
Council, this is why I said just allow me time.
Council nyina kendin ko wati dinna.
If I'm to follow the sequence of events,
Nimbe kolu bula nya
certainly I will read there as to who sanctioned for my arrest.
pour me kamodi pour yamuta.
I did not lose sight of that.
Manyina wala de.
Okay, proceed.
So whilst at the panel,
Mbe panelo to tumo.
certainly Esa Baji was there,
Esa baji biji.
Numoku Jabi was there.
Mo ku jabi biji.
So they saw that at a later point,
Nataje ko kola
I was not ready to cooperate with them
mampare pour ni kolu samba nyola.
because I raised concerns
Tatu na deun dalu itandi.
that I have just been appointed as the ambassador
O science ay namu yente tombo yenke ambassador
to
ti
Taiwan.
ata Taiwan.
So what must have prompted me
So mune be asababu la hanifo
to stage a coup?
uka kudeta ke.
The time I was in the army as the chief of defense staff,
Watu membe sojar nyaton kayala.
I had all the weaponry
Jorang lu be
and
bembu.
the personnel under my command.
Andu a sojaru lu benkoto.
I never staged a coup.
Man kudeta ke.
I told them when the president was in Mauritania,
Ko president be murtani tumo men.
there was a planned coup against him.
E kudeta fero city akama.
I foiled the coup
Ndelo kudeta bayi.
when the president was not in town.
Ota wata president te banko kan.
If I had wanted,
Nilla fitanu.
at that time I could have been president.
Wotembo nsike no num president.
It was when
Do tumo lem
Esa Baji reacted.
esa baji mamanta.
I said to me, sir,
Akonye sa
we have been given information
e kibaro le din tolula
and the president sanctioned this panel
and president le panel o kangodi
for us to arrest those people and to investigate into the matter.
nsa ko kisikisi
That was what he told me, that the president sanctioned for that.
sabaji wala fanyen ko president le ya kangodi.
So, the president ordered your arrest?
The president wole kangodi ila mudarolo.
Certainly, if he sanctioned for that panel,
tonya natale kangodi o panel la ko
and that was what Esabaji told me.
sabaji wala fanyen
The president sanctioned for my arrest.
the president le kangodi pour ye buta.
We have received information that for the 2006 panel,
Kibaro sora janko membe sujiri in 2006 panel o nyina kura.
people who appeared before the panel
Mola menu findita o panel o nyati lingola.
and did not cooperate
Andu imanson ko la ni kisikisir la altemo.
were tortured
Ye tajire yale.
by the junglers.
Andu meni yo kela wala mjongulalde.
In your own case,
Ite fangola ko la karola.
you refused to cooperate with the panel.
Ibalanda ini panel o nyipura ale tara
Were you
sineke.
tortured?
So ye tajire yale ba.
And so I don't think I refused to cooperate.
Well, that's what you said. You said you did not cooperate.
Iyo wala science nda iko imanson if
That is what you just
If
said.
I had said that, then that is a slip of the tongue. There is no way I could not cooperate.
Ningo fo don dale filter
Hence I accepted to go up to the NIA headquarters.
ningo fo dale filter woto nta balano la pour ni
There was nothing that could have stopped me from cooperating with them.
recruiter ke men simbali la pour ni nyomoy
You denied the allegations.
Ibalanda tumiro le nyin.
Certainly I did.
You did not confess anything.
Andu imanson hani kula.
Correct.
tonya
Were you tortured?
Ye tajire yale ba.
Until I wasn't tortured.
kansul iman tajire ya
What happened later in the night,
men nata ke suto
I was taken to mile 2,
en samba mile 2
where I spent the night.
na suto la woleto
At this time,
Watola.
where was Tombong Tamba?
Tumbul tamba ale.
I could not see Tumbul in the panel.
man tumbul je panelot
Was he still working at State House?
Hani kabio watola do gola no mansala korda baro ba.
I cannot remember
hakkilo ta mutanola
whether or not if Tumbul was alive that time.
o tembo tumbulu be nyola bang
How about Musa Jame?
Musa Jame du.
Musa Jametu was, one time he was dismissed from the army.
musa jamme wata sotonta ya bay sojar yala
So I may not remember whether at the time of my arrest he was brought back.
hakkilo ta mutanola wato men ebe mutala fo ya talle ya murundi nan ne bang
I cannot remember that. I don't want to speculate.
hakkilo ta mutanola man lafi ma fulan kuyo fe
Okay. But you were not tortured at all.
Bari me tajire wati mansu nana mansu do foye tajire do men.
So what happened that night?
Mune na na ko suto wala.
Like I said, I was taken back to mile 2,
na fa men yen samba mile 2
where I spent the night.
na suto la woleto
The following day,
asamu
I was brought back to the panel.
murundi nan paneloto
At this stage, when you were taken to Nile 2,
Intemmen na biri ye samba mile tu.
were you showed any warrant of arrest?
Foye kaiti tandila la ban kai dandi ko loi sambo di la pour ye mutaba.
No counsel, I wasn't.
hani kansul mo itandina
Was that lawful?
Oni umulwa luwan tayalde umulwa ni luwa dara ba.
Certainly, it wasn't.
tonya ani luwa manta
In 2006, it was the same thing that was done.
2006 san kono nyakilo nyama yol fananke.
There were no warrants of arrest showed to anybody.
Kaiti nana man tandi handi mo kilin na mendu murata kai tandi ko luwa le sambo di pour ke muta.
True or false?
To nya fa fania.
True, counsel.
tonya kansul
That too was unlawful.
Fana ni luwa manta.
Other counsel, but I want to bring one notice to your attention.
lafta ibondi la kukilin kalama
In the military,
sojar bundala
certainly up to that time,
fokana bula utembola
the soldiers, we in the military,
sojarolu ntel membe sojar ya
we are not conversant with the law.
ni luwa utumo jamaben kono malluwa kalangolonde
To deem it fitting
pour men sa kendi
that an arrest warrant
o ibe solo la mutari kaito la
must be needed
solo be kala wala le
for somebody even
pour mo kam haninga ayatara fan
who was suspected to be committing an offense.
yeni sobita mo men na ko abe kule ke kan
So that was why I did not even think about that.
wala na utembo hakilo fo man
Because
taw
already I was a suspect.
that utembo yatara isobita
That was why I was arrested.
wala na yemuta
So I wouldn't ask for an arrest warrant.
wala nante mutari kaito nyinin kala
This is not about you asking for an arrest warrant.
Manke te fan kundi wala ko de ka nyini karo ke la mutari kaito la.
This is about a procedure of law that was not respected. And you clearly said that in your case it was unlawful. Equally, in the case of the 1996 guys, it was also unlawful.
Ite fanga ya fojan 2006 ya menketa je woni luwa manda ite fana na kuoto mi akata nyame ngoni fana mudu wanta yalti.
Council, it might be only a legal-minded person
Council asikeno momen hakilo fanuta luwa la karola.
who will know about all that procedure.
Mbe ko be kala ngona.
But once you gather information of a planned coup,
Bari niye kibaro kensu nyo kamen denta kudeta kuala.
I don't think we will have that mind to say we need an arrest warrant for somebody suspected of planning a coup.
Malla la hakilo sitanyin kan kombe solo la mutar kaito la momen ya tuni kudeta la.
General, do you agree that ignorance of the law is no excuse?
General ison da nyummale ka fo ko ma long luwa la karola yam fate woro.
Then the law dictates that, fine.
Ni luwa yole
But
fotonya.
I was not aware of that.
Bari mantara bori wo
That's why
kala.
I said that was what all those arrests made.
Wala na blanyum foko mutoro lu men beketa.
Even my own arrest,
Ani fondo fonga la mutaro.
there was no warrant shown.
Warant mandi mutar kaiti mandi.
The thing is, you accepted that your own arrest was unlawful because there was no warrant, didn't you?
Ko mendi wala mindi ko ite fanga sonta nyinnala ko mutaro menketela o mukule mi alon ko ani luwa manta katun kaiti mantandi le memba itandila ko ha luwa sembo de pour que muta.
Certainly later I came to know about that because through my lawyer.
Nyala kuo kola lo na tawlo mbaro fana na loya le mbonda.
Already I was arrested at the time.
Atara muta tafoka pare.
I am just trading on the same point.
Fana mbe sila kilimo la noma.
That equally, the arrest of those for the 2006 coup d'etat without warrant, that arrest too was unlawful.
Ko 2006 molu fana muta molu men fana ye muta 2006 ku da bayre ngina ko ol fana lu kaiti maintandi ko luwa le sembo di pour que muta.
Council, I don't think I will need to dilate on that with you.
Council ma mera ni yanta wo kumo
Just accept
la
it, it's a fact.
If the law dictates so,
ni luwa yole fo.
then let it be.
Walam.
But if it dictates so in your case, it therefore dictates so for their case.
Ni luwa wala
That
fo
is
itela
all I
karola.
want you
Ku
to
kilo fana
accept.
luwa fana wala fo itol fana karola.
In whatever case, if that is what the law dictates, I accept. Let it be.
Ni luwa yole fo nsonta.
Thank you very much.
Maraba.
When you were taken to Mile 2,
Biri esamba mile 2.
did they show Mile 2 prisons any paper
Fo kaiti tandi mile 2 wuddo kulalla.
which ordered or authorized your detention or admission into the prison?
Me yakalo ni sembo di pour yete bundi mile 2 kaso kono ke sindiji.
Council, not to my knowledge. I just saw them writing my name in their diary.
Council mambo kalama. Ngia jele drone ibento safe kan ila kibar buko nyonto kamem mabo.
Those you ordered to be arrested in 2006,
Ye kango di mendu la mutola 2006 sa kono.
they were taken to Mile 2, were they not?
Ye samba no mile tu la fo me samba.
Certainly they have said it here, that they were taken there.
Ya fo janne ko ye samba mile 2 le.
Did you issue or obtain any paper which authorized their admission into Mile 2?
Fo ye kaito di la bare fo kaito soro ba memba itandila ko luwa sembo di la pour ye samba kaso bumbaro ba.
I've said it here that
Nga fo janne ko.
we were not conversant with the law.
Sonto no tembo luwa la kolu man ko
And
imma.
as long as somebody is arrested in respect of a coup,
Andu ne momondi muta men tu mita kudeta kola.
you are under investigation.
Ikatara kisikisiro le kono.
So we did not see the need
Andu naje ko tumo nyin aman futa nyimto
for a paper.
pour kaito sidada.
But however,
Baro nyonya.
the prison staffs,
So la do kulalu.
they certainly know that
Ya lonko.
they cannot keep anybody without a warrant.
Ite momondi muta lola je sa
And they never ask for that.
Adu ino le manyi nka.
Well, the prison staff, they have appeared here, and they said they were always under intimidation of the military boys who came there and brought people.
Kasolanka do kula na raja ne yese dan do ko itol wato be itol ka itol sojarol menu kana je itol katara wolle kan wolle ke dabule la do ko kono
That might be their own version, but when I was taken to Mile 2 and detained, eventually nobody intimidated them.
Asike tella foro molde babri ente samba mile 2 kan sindije mo mesilandi.
But by this time, obviously, that yours was not the first time. They have come to get used to the soldiers just bringing in people and dumping them into the prison without any paper, and they cannot do anything about it.
Ida buto manke follow de jannite dollel follow keta so jaro kamol naati jero ikari nin kayti bukana ke sindi sindla la je o nyama je nin kayti bukana.
And so I will advise that you can take the statement of the prison wardens who were here and they told you everything.
That is exactly what I am giving you. This is the complaint that they made. They said they had no choice.
Then let the commission decide if they have no choice. Where they have no choice, and we also, like I said, we were not aware that we needed an arrest warrant or a detention warrant, at the prison.
Wouldn't it be shocking, General, that the government is not aware of its own rules, the rules that the government has put in place?
And so I can say that you are more legally minded than I, so you can make a decision on that.
General, I'm bringing out these points to show the violation of your rights. But equally, those violations of your rights are a result of a system, a way of doing things, a culture of violation of the law. And it is that same culture of violation of laws that produce egregious violations of the rights of another group, the 2006 group. So what we have is a system of continuous violations of the rights of people who come within the system. So, General, this is not about you. What I am doing is exposing that unlawful system, so that that unlawful system could be changed, such that what happened to you and what happened to those people of the 2006 alleged coup would not happen again. This is the reason for this exercise. We bring out the violations. So let's move on. Were you taken before a judge?
And so we were in mile 2. And so in the mile 2, or close to, if my memory serves me right, close to 3 weeks. Without appearing before a judge.
Are you aware that that is unlawful?
Certainly, like I said, I was soon conversant with the law. I didn't even know how many weeks or days or months it takes for a detained person to appear before the law. That was not part of our job. That was why we are not conversant with such.
Well, you worked on a panel in which people were detained and in custody. Didn't you think it was important that you were familiarize yourself with at least the basic law that governed what you were tasked to do?
Council in this country, the military has its role. The police has its role.
Police only function
NIA has its role.
NIA function
And it is very obvious that when it comes to the application of the law, police is entirely responsible. So hence there were senior police officers, even the IGP. So certainly I would have expected them to advise us on the side of the law.
So on this occasion, the system failed you. True or false?
It is now I'm realizing that.
But the system failed you.
That's what I mean. It's now I'm realizing that. I didn't know that there was a period that I needed to be detained or appear before a lawyer.
So you accept your right to be presented before a lawyer, before a judge within 72 hours were violated.
Certainly afterwards I was able to know that.
Equally, for those of 2006, their right to be presented before a judge or a magistrate within the 72-hour period was violated.
Haninkabi 2006 kafu grupo ni moli ni fana yemenu muta ko nyanne sambala kiti tela santonko waranta dumalanko magistrate waranta jojo o fana yoti nyala kato mi samba kiti tela nyatango membira fu muto tawora wala ni lulu o fana tinyata.
Certainly if my rights were violated, certainly theirs too was violated. But like I said, hence we are not conversant with the law. There was no way we could have applied that.
We know you have said that. We don't have to repeat it with regards to every violation. We take it that you have said that. All I'm trying to do is to show that we had a system of violating the law of this country. That is what I'm trying to do now.
Council, that is why this commission is formed. So if we are able to detect that, I think that is a plus for the commission.
Thank you very much. So let's go through the process of identifying these things. You were not given a lawyer.
No, Council, I wasn't given a lawyer.
That too was a violation of your rights.
It was later I came to know of that.
Well, we had Bunja Dabo, his testimony. He said he asked for a lawyer. When you were sitting there in the panel, he was denied a lawyer. That was unlawful.
And so I will say Bunja didn't speak the truth. Anybody who was taken before a panel accused of a coup do not have the mind to request for a lawyer. If Bunja said so, that is not true. Otherwise, I would, if I'm telling you what our perception was. Your mind will not go to thinking to get a lawyer.
Well, General, he says his mind went to that.
And so you might have the opportunity to invite some of the panelists. And you can put that question to them. But what I have told you is none of the arrested persons requested for a legal representation.
But General, you know, this is not a matter of knowledge of the law. Everybody, I mean, this is very, very basic. You know that if a person is arrested, the person is entitled to a lawyer.
nyimma mari kang la dunol ti pour ay lawyer soto membe
And
lola
it behoves the state
andunga duno nying be la mansala kang
to give the person the opportunity to have a lawyer.
pour ka mari nying ka silo dia la pour ay lawyer soto membe lola
That is very basic.
wala mu ko nying santon koti
Is that not true?
fo banke toñati
Council, that is not true.
Council mo ke toñati.
These people seated here,
Nimmo sita jan.
ask them how many of them knows that when you are detained, you need the service of a lawyer.
Ñinin ka jumale o londo so.
Well, General, I can show you that this is very basic. This is people.
It is
people
basic.
know this.
You know it because you are legally minded. But somebody who's not legally minded may not know, as like you.
But General, we are not talking about the ordinary citizens. We are talking about the state. That group that sat there, it represented the state.
mantara banku mo la kumo foka be banko masala ko la foka mon mel be sirinja wala mansati
The group that sat there is, in fact, the entire law and security enforcement apparatus of the state.
men be sirin panelo nyinto je wolle be sirin tanko bunda mo la bunda la nyaton ko wolle be sirin je to le tanko bunda je.
That apparatus, unlike the ordinary citizen, the ordinary Joe who walks about the street, cannot plead ignorance of the law. The state cannot plead ignorance of the law.
wol membe sirinje wol ning banku din kensan wolte takino la nyola ka foko malwa e malong.
That is the difference.
wala mfatam fansoti
Council, the position you are sitting,
Ibe sirin tembo mendote.
you are legally minded.
Ite lualone.
The panel you are talking about
Ibe panelo men na kumo foka.
was composed of the military,
O soldier le bije. Police.
and other service personnel.
Nin kanta bunda do.
I think probably you might visit the syllabus of the military training.
Soldier karandi bunda ni
Then you
karan silo
will be acquainting yourself with the syllabus.
Andi so karan lasilo lolole.
It is not a rule
Manque sartoti
that every soldier
soldier
is taught about the law.
si karandi luala.
General, the problem is
wala menti general
you are personalizing the issues I'm raising. It's not about you.
ko nyi manke defan kunni wala kodi.
My suggestion is not that you, Tombong Tamba, you did something.
ma fo ite Tombong Tamba ye kulake ite sedo
What I am saying
mbe mem foka
is the failure of the state
wala mansaye bulo bula mem damento
to do what it is required and obliged under the law to do.
kuke me yalon ko luwa e duno la itolle kam mansala karola kawoke
It is bigger than you.
ko nyi fa kuliyate tete
This is all the entire law enforcement and security apparatus of the state sitting together.
ko menti ja wala mi de banko be la tanko bunda nyaton ko wala be siri be kafuta nyoma
And it deliberately violated the rights of Gambian citizens.
andu ye banku dingol la nyanto tinya tawo kono
Like they have violated yours.
ko yedi ta fawon la nyanto tinya nyame
This is what we are talking about.
be nyina ko mo foka
Council, I am seated here.
Ansul mbe sirin jan.
Then ask me questions that will concern me
Nin ka kumo la men be den nan ta fawola.
as a former serving member of the military.
But that is what we are doing. What we are saying is you sat there as CDS together with heads of the police, together with heads of the NIA, without any regard to the laws of this country.
be wala fokanta isita je police la nyaton ko ini ina la nyaton ko albedo ko ke alman du nyasoro luwae
Because what you saying is you did not know that that is what the law required.
atu ibe mem foka wala nyinti ko imalon ko luwae wala kani
But I am telling you that the state cannot plead ignorance of the law.
kam mem fo wala nyinti man sata fono la ko malon wala nyinti ibe sabus ibe sambela wala la luwa
Man sama
imalon
Mansa can say that he didn't know the law.
Man sata fo la ko itelu mon lualo.
So who was Mansa in this context?
Mansa Kunda was this institution that was put together. You represented Mansa Kunda.
Amunda ngilu men bebe sirinje.
The panel represented Mansa Kunda.
Men be panelo ko bunda nyaton kollem amunda wol dum bebe sirin Mansa Kunda le toyala je. Wala nay ka fo Mansa.
And so I think I've told you that
Council na mera ngin fo ko.
the military don't have that deep background as long as the law is concerned. I would suggest that some of the members who were in the panel who came from the police or the NIA might have the opportunity to visit this commission. Issues that touches on the law and be put before them. I have clearly stated that as in the military, we are not conversant with the law. So therefore, I cannot talk on those questions you are asking. Unless those from the police or the NIA, they here, they can help on that.
I understand that Tamsir Jase also asked for a lawyer.
And ngai faham fana ne ko Tamsir Jasi o fana kanin rogere pour lawyer e na membe lola e.
And that was denied.
And ibalanta o fana na.
Let's move on.
As well, I've said it here. So even if Tamsir says that, I've already given a response to that. And
General,
did he mention that in his statement? Because it's very important that he mentions in his statement that he requested for a legal representation and he wasn't given.
General.
I'm trying to raise an issue, so that the commission can take note of that. If he says that he requested.
General, the evidence that I bring before this commission should not be based on the statement of one single witness. Okay, I base my everything on the body of evidence that is in our possession. What we do is we put out the issues to the person and give the witness the opportunity to respond to them. If you cannot remember that happened, or you do not accept that it happened, or you agree that it happened, just tell us. All right. And what I'm trying to do here is that this country has laws, and we want to be a country ruled by the law, and not a country that is just ruled by men doing whatever they wanted. This is why I am bringing these things out. I am showing that the system that was in place violated the rights of people, including your own rights. Much as it is reassuring for you to sit there and accept that your rights were violated, it would be equally the same for whose rights would be acknowledged here. So that is what we are trying to do. So it is not necessarily to put responsibility on your shoulders. That is not what we are trying to do. I'm trying to expose a system of rights violations, no matter how basic those rights are. That is what we're trying to do. So, and in so doing, I want to show that the state cannot plead ignorance of the law. Okay, so let's proceed.
And so, if you say the state cannot plead the ignorance of the law, Like I said, that is why this commission is here. Those wrongs can be put to the state. It's not for me, to put that to the state. In fact, that was why I told you. At that time, I never knew. Now that I heard it from you, because I was not legally minded. Yes, so I know that the state has failed in that area.
Thank you very much. I think the issue could have been over long since if you had just acknowledged that, well, you know that the state has failed in that area, and then we proceed.
Council, this is not a law of court. This is an inquiry. We cannot all the time be having answers of yes or no. I'm sitting, allowed to dilate further. Instead of yes or no.
But General, definitely you cannot say that you have not been given the opportunity to answer questions.
General,
you have been given ample opportunity. Some questions just require yes or no. And
Council, you'll agree with me, those that require yes or no, I've been saying that. Sitting on this chair, those that I feel need further explanation, I do that too.
Let us proceed.
Thank you.
Good. You told the commission earlier that you were never tortured.
That is the fact.
And there was an instance where you were to be tortured. You were not tortured, but you had to go back and pretend that you were tortured. That is what you said earlier.
Council, it happened one night after midnight that I was removed from my cells in the Mile 2 prisons and I was taken away by junglers, people dressed in that jungler uniform. I was taken towards the Bond Road in those swamps. I was made to alight from the car. I was led into the mangrove swamps and was asked to sit on the floor. Then somebody dressed in that jungler uniform placed the gun on my head. But I didn't say anything. He asked me of my involvement in the coup. I stood by my initial statement. There was no planned coup. And I was not involved in any coup that was planned. Because there were threats that if I don't speak the truth, the bullet will be released on my head. My response was, yes, I'm ready for that. That I would prefer to die than to tell lies of a coup that never happened. It's happened that there was one soldier who was not dressed in jungler uniform, whom I recognized. I could hear him shouting at this particular jungler, stop what you're doing. He walked to where we were. And of course, that was how I was able to recognize him. He was Sehu Jallo. Sehu was an orderly at the State House when I was there. So he's a soldier I know. He shouted at the jungler to stop that. And then I was told to get up. led to the car where the car was parked on the highway.
yen samba moto to abelori ndamin silaba kan
There I met Bobaji.
na Bobaji tarajele
The whole Bobaji also was brought in there through a different vehicle.
yara e Bobaji fanan nati jele bari ate nati moto dole la
And at that time,
ndu tembo
I could recognize one of the junglers,
mo do fanan bije jongla solu kono namen sute
Nuabaji.
no habaji
Then we were told to board the vehicles.
tumo le kono bula moto lu kono
Each of us boarded the vehicle that brought us.
mo mondi mbula ta moto kono me ye nati
But I could hear them communicating with somebody,
ngamo inimmo be dia mukan
and I could hear them informing that they were heading to the NIA headquarters.
ngamo ka fo mari en ko sai filembita kan NIA kordato
So from the Bond Road,
abobon ro
we had driven to the NIA headquarters.
yen samba NIA la kordato
On arrival,
rim futata je
certainly we met Bojang, what's his name? Solo Bojang.
na solo Bojang
He
taraji
was waiting outside.
abelori mbanta kambatu
Of course, he exchanged, words with them,
ani dia muta
which I didn't hear.
mo moyde
And what happened was,
bar men kata
Solo instructed that
solo ni yamaro dila
they should lead us to the conference room upstairs.
ko sen samba conference room ben dinkira to membe bunja ko santa
And of course, I was the first to be led.
andu ndelo mo fuloti men samba
And of course, what Solo told them was
andu solo men fo iye walam
for us to be tortured.
pour yem bute
But like I said earlier,
ko bar na men fo nun komanto
those junglers,
wo jongla solo
they knew that our allegation of a planned coup
ya non ko tumirolu men foto konteli kudeta le fewja
was false.
to nyante
So even if they are given instruction to torture us,
hanni ni yamaro dila pour yem to bute
they wouldn't do.
itakela
The reason they took us upstairs that night
dalilo yen samba santo wolun suto
was to be tortured.
wolem yen samba nyina kamaje de pour etam tajire ya
When we reached the conference hall,
bar birim futata be mbugo ni
I was the first to be taken before Bobaji.
yen telephone samba Bobaji nyatelingula
What they did was,
yemenke
they had, of course, some sticks or battens, I'm not sure.
de kolu ni lipar lando lebe bulum amako mabaka
They started hitting the tables.
ya damu ta pour ka tablo lipa
They said they will hit the tables
e ko ka tablo lipa
so that if Solo Bojang hears that,
nin kamala nin solo boja yo lipar kama moy
he will feel that we have been tortured.
abe nyim mutala ko yentelu tajire ya
That was what they do.
yewoleke
And before we left,
dal nin na boje
those junglers
wo jongla sulu
advised us that
yen ya mari nyim
when we are
na ko
coming down the stairs,
nimbe jila duma
we should be limping as if we suffered that torture.
nsi juma ko yembutele
And of course, they don't want Solo to notice that we were walking normal,
malafi solo yaje ko mbetama kan anyale ma
meaning that nothing was done to us.
memba itandi la ko kuman ken tolla
So certainly we complied.
ngona sonta
When we were getting down the stairs,
nimbe jikan iskalela
walking towards our vehicle,
mbetama kan katawo moto luto
we were limping.
mfanalu be juma kan
And certainly when we reached the mile, after they took us back to the Mile 2 prisons,
biri yem murundi mile tu kasola
that was the same impression we saw there,
no ku kilingule yitandi wol fanalu la
as if we were tortured.
na mfanke ko yentolu lipale
That was why
wala ya sabu
in the cell number 1 where I stayed,
sel number 1 ntebe damen
all that I pretended
na mfanke ko
that we were being tortured.
yem butele
So my colleagues there,
nkafunyolu melu bije
I had certain file before this commission
na mo serin fal ayafu nyin commission nyatilinga ko
that I was being tortured seriously.
ko yen mbutele buterinya jaw
It was as a result of this.
andu na umanya menke wala yo
I
sabu
also had the prison officers
na mo kasola do kulal fanan
say that
yen fuko
I was tortured
yen tetajire yale
to the extent that I couldn't walk.
han fo manta mano
I want to set on records to say that
lafta ni senandi la janko
they might have made a mistake.
sikeno filtale
That wasn't me.
awa manke ndati
There was no particular time
wati man soto
that I was tortured
dame yente lipa
that I could not walk.
han fo manta mano
I had their testimony
ni la sede yaro mo
right away that
andu wala nyindi ko
it was a mistake from them.
ko filtale
So we were brought back to the prison.
yam murundi kasola
So there we stayed.
mtutajele
I even pretended
ngam fanke ko fang
getting some treatment
ko be jararo di kanale
such as massage.
membe ko nyaburo
But in real sense,
bari tonya
I was never tortured.
nele mantelipa
Quite an interesting story.
nyabo warta ba ke satare nyabar mbara
This whole thing
nyum ko be
was to convince Solo Bojang
wala nka kolo solo bonjan sondi
that you were tortured.
Ko yete lipale.
Certainly, because otherwise he'll be mad with the junglers that he gave them instructions and they didn't carry them out. It was the junglers themselves who advised us to adapt that working style.
When you left mile 2, when you left the NIA and arrived at mile 2, Solo Bojang was convinced that you were tortured, correct?
Solo Bojang was not at mile 2.
No, I'm saying
at the NIA downstairs.
Yes. So you left NIA adopting a posture of people who were already tortured, correct?
That is correct.
At that stage, did Solo appear convinced that you were tortured?
That is what I want to believe. Because he never asked them again. Just told them to put us in the car and take us back.
Let me finish. So up to the time you arrived at mile 2, your mission of bamboozling Solo was accomplished.
Between Fokatawato and Alfred mile 2. Alanyim fere sitirino pour que Solo Bojang nya bitika film ni bitu amunta tamata wala nyama.
Certainly, that was why even some of our inmates they thought that we are tortured.
But let me ask my question. What I can't understand is, having achieved that objective
Bring Alio Fero Timmandi
with Solo Bojang,
na Karola.
Why was it necessary to carry on that posture at the end at the mile 2 prison to the extent of going for medical checks and all that when you know that nothing had happened to you? Why was it necessary?
Council, I never mentioned that I went for a medical checkup. I never said so.
Yes, you did.
No. That I went for a medical checkup after that alleged torture.
Yes, you did. You told us,
yeah. If I did so, then it's an error from me. We never went for medical checkup. Probably you can recall my statement. I cannot remember saying. I cannot remember saying.
You said you asked for medical checkup. You did say so. You did say so. You did say so.
I cannot remember that part.
All right, but it really wouldn't matter if you are saying that that did not happen. So proceed.
So that did not happen. So we were at the mile 2. And one day, I was removed from my cell. This was late at night too. With Modugay. 2 of us were taken to the NIA with the purpose of to torture us. But the same trend followed. The junglers briefed us that they will not touch us. And they advised that that they'll be hitting the table as usual. Because Solo was downstairs that day too. So that Solo will feel that we have been tortured. And that was what they did.
General Mudugay, in his statement, has confirmed that. But
can you read Modugay's statement again? I could remember Modugay saying that there was a day he was tortured.
Yes.
But another day he was taken with me.
Yes.
We were not tortured.
Yes.
If you bring the Quran, I can swear we were never tortured. But that day.
I am telling you that Modugay confirmed exactly what you have said.
Okay.
But like you have said, on other days he was tortured.
Those days I didn't go along with him. So I cannot speak on that. I've said here that one day I was taken there with Bobaji from the Bond Road area. The same thing happened, they were hitting the tables. Those junglers, they knew that the allegation against us was false. That was why they were not cooperating with them to talk.
Thank you. Thank you very much, General. You would agree that the system in place had an arrangement to have you true or false?
So certainly that was why we had Bond Road area.
You could just say yes, or you could just say no.
And I think I have confirmed that already. And that the purpose was to kill us that day even. Through Sehu Jallo's intervention, that it was averted.
Exactly.
And of course, we were brought, I said that again, we were brought to the NIA with the sole purpose of torturing us. I think I've answered that.
General, you have said all that. So if I ask you the simple question, that the system was organized in a way that you were to be tortured, you could simply say yes. We didn't have to repeat everything else that you have said before. Please cooperate with me in that way so we can make progress.
Council, I fully cooperated with you.
Okay, now
I am aware that this is not a court proceeding. This is an investigation. I know in a court procedure, most of the answers have to be yes or no. But in such a I have to give an explanation so that the detail aspect.
General, if you want to play it that way, by all means indulge yourself. It does not help anybody. It's just a pure waste of our time, and it's not necessary. But I would indulge you because I want you to be satisfied that you have said what you want to say. But in the process, you will realize the futility of this approach, but let's go ahead. The system was designed in a way that you were to be tortured. You were sent to Bond Road, you were sent to the NIA to be tortured. Is that true or that is false?
I think that is what I already explained, Council.
It is true.
Council, I have given a detailed explanation of what happened. Mostly, the reason why they took us there is to torture us. So it's obvious.
So why are you therefore unable to accept that the system was designed for you to go and be tortured? Why are you having a problem accepting that?
Council, I believe that is for you to draw conclusions from what I have said.
General, we are asking you from what you experienced, the system that was in place was included to take you to places and have you tortured.
And so whether a system in place or not, I was taken to be tortured.
Thank you very much.
That was what I said.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that system in place came from people who worked at State House. Correct?
Then it was coordinated by Solo Boja.
State House.
And these were people who took their instructions from Yaya Jammeh. That's what you said before. True or false?
Yes, before I said that.
Perfect. And it is this same system that obtained in 2006. The same group of people, not necessarily the same individuals, but this same unit was the unit that was responsible for taking people out of mile 2, people who were accused of treason, and torturing them at the NIA.
Nungunimo killing lang hanamanke o kafu unikafu killing hanamanke o mo killing the one killing will kata mile 2 katani mul kamana minu 2 minu kureta la 2006 kata mul kamana kene tajire NIA.
It's the same system.
Ku la killing nya konyi la killing nya nyamala.
I will take that to be a yes, Mr. Chairman.
No, Jabiro Dala, Mr.
Already responded to that. Already responded to that.
General,
I think that's it, suffice it to say.
General, my difficulty is what is your problem for accepting a fact?
I don't want to exaggerate. If you take it as a fact, it's a fact on your side. So you take what you get from me. I've said it.
You see, you are ready to accept that it was the system that did you in 2009, but you're not prepared to accept that it is the same system that did others in 2006.
If they say so, they said it before you, and you and the
I am asking you.
You had from the orders you had from me.
General, you were at the center.
I can speak from my own.
You were at the center of both events.
Okay.
So the system that sent you to be tortured is the same system that sent Wasa Kamara to be tortured, that sent MC Cham to be tortured, that sent Yaya Dabo to be tortured, that sent Bunja Dabo to be tortured, that sent, what's his name again, Kambai to be tortured, that sent Demba Dem to be tortured, that sent Mariam Denton to be tortured. If you can accept it for you,
and so if those are your
accept it for the others.
If those are your conclusions, fine.
No, we are asking you who was at the center of both events.
I did mention, I think I did mention to the commission the roles that Solo played. It was Solo I've been seeing all along, coordinating.
Well, in the other one, it was Tombong Tamba and Musa Jame you were seeing all the time.
No, the Tombong Tamba and Musa Jame
being at the panel.
Yes.
I've said that well, if you want to take us backwards, then we go back till tomorrow.
No,
I've said that Musa Jame and Tumbu, they were present in the panel. And I've said that tortures were never conducted in the conference room. I've said that. I stand by that.
When you were taken to be tortured, was it at the conference room, at the panel?
It wasn't.
Exactly.
So if you talk about Tumul and Musa, I wouldn't say anything on that. I wasn't there.
General, you seem to be avoiding.
Avoiding what?
Accepting that there was a system in place in this country, a system of brutalizing its citizens to compel them to accept false allegations, to accept allegations, be they false or true. That was the system. Accept that the system that to which you are sent to torture you is the same system that obtained in 2006.
Very good. If those are your assertions, you can put them in your conclusions and help the
We are asking you, are you denying it?
I have said all what I know.
Are you denying it?
About the system, I don't know anything about the system. I've said all what I know. If you suggest so, then help the commission. You can say so.
So you deny it?
Council, take my words. What I said, take that. If that doesn't suit you, just take that. Unless, like I said,
what I am saying to you, General,
are we in a trial court?
No, you are in an investigation.
Fine. So investigation, mission. I have said what I know.
And a fact-finding mission is also what courts do. But the issue here, General, is
can we allow the interpreters to move on as well? People outside want to know. They want to hear what's going on.
Is that to buy time? But anyway, interpreters come in and interpret that. What I am saying is, let's help the interpreters. Is there was a system which in 2009 sought to have you tortured with a view to obtaining confessions from you. And that was unlawful. Equally,
hanin kabi o nyaaw nyar ni nyaaw
It is that same system
o ko nyi la nyara kilimo nyi
that operated in 2006,
wala keta 2006 samo fanan kono
wherein
damento
all those people who were sent before the panel
mol membe yalan ko ye sabba panelo nyaati limo la
were also tortured
wol fanan tajireya
with a view
nyi dalilo kan
to obtaining confessions from them.
pour que kuma kan soto e bulu me yalan ko membe sondila
This was the system that operated,
ko nyimbe laari nu wala nyama ka wala nyama no men
and that
katama
system was unlawful.
andu tamandiri bulo nyi mutamandiri bulo de me yalan ko amanyang
Do you agree or do you disagree?
isonda wala ban fo imanson
Council, you can use your own word as a system.
council si function kuma kan ta
But I have narrated my experience, what I went through.
bari na menje ndunta men ko non tano sa
So you can draw your conclusions, whether it was a system or whatsoever you call it.
Okay, let
leto sila kuma kun fano fokulu la nya lo wala keta femfemti
me change the question.
odambaro ngani nin karo nyim fali nyaado nyama
What happened in 2009
men keta 2009 sango kono
was strikingly similar with what happened in 2006.
aning 2006 men keta munun dale
You agree?
sonda wala ba
Council, if those are your conclusions, that's fine.
nila ko kum fadla mo da bata
General, this is such a hot potato.
That is what you call it. I know that the 2006
You would
were
accept.
here.
You will
spoke to you. They faced this commission.
Just hear me out. Your colleague Bo Baji was tortured. He said that before the commission.
imonyo bobaji ya tajire ya lipala ya fanyi commission nyati no jadi siri damento
Modu Gay said he was tortured.
modu jeyi fanan ko ya lipala ya
Those are the people who appeared so far from your group.
wala molti men yalan ko sita in commission nyati no men bo tele ka fokono
I have a statement from Ngor Seka. He said he was tortured.
ngakuma kan safir mo sore ka bo ngor seta bulu ko ya tajire ya
You are one of the lucky few
tela modi men yalan ko te o harjo soto
because of your personal relations with the torturers.
atung itela hadamaya bilen hadamaya men sore nim lipar lal tema
Isn't that the truth?
wala manke to nyati
Chairman, I have an objection.
chairman na balanda soto
I believe if those people sit here and make those statements,
la tala ko no mo sita jayo kuma
let
kan
him take it from them.
utayo la kuma kan
If I sit here and make a statement,
in sita jangam function
let him take it from me.
ay atante bulu
It is not for me to decide whether those people, what they said is true or wrong.
atante bulu pour no son pour ka foko wole
But I am saying what I know, that I was in torture.
bari mbem fo kan ngawle lon koy man
And that is the truth and nothing but the truth.
adu wole mto nyati
General.
Why is council insisting on that, bringing comparison those that were tortured, Bobadi and the others,
mun na council be nyin ko lula
and that I was not tortured,
koy man teta jire
to make a comparison?
kan nin do lula
So if you don't want to take my assertion,
ni man pare ntela kuma kan lutala
then why am I here? Why am I called here?
woto wala mun na yon kuma dijang
And I know that this is not a court of law.
andu ngalo ko jamman ke kiti bulla
It's an investigation.
ni mu kisikisironi
So why is it that council is not ready to take what I say?
mun na council man pare na kuma kan lutala
Wants me to blame a particular person or system or whatsoever.
Allah vidana ko lula nya doya wala mo
That is not why I am here.
amanke ko wala mfrandi
I'm here to speak of what I know.
mbijam pour na mello
At the end of the day,
ko bandula
it is this commission
yin commission
that will make a recommendation and a ruling.
yin lebe ya maro dila
You would have heard from what Bo and the others said.
ya moy le bonin dole
You would have heard what I said.
andu ya tara ya moy le ndefal ngam
Then you can read between the lines and make your conclusion.
bitu fon si ko bonyoto ya jube
But for council to insist
bari council ka lodula kili kan
for me to say a particular issue
pour ka kumafo
or to accept,
pour ka songala
I don't think that is why I am here.
na mira wa makende ndabijam.
Thank you. The commission is heard, the view is expressed. We are going to make our conclusions. We proceed, please.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman
Perhaps, yeah, okay, I'll just move on to another point.
silambira fanadoro
A report was produced
riporo do dada
of the investigations,
skisiro nyin kola
and let me read out.
badunga riporo nyin karam
Okay. Thank you. General.
Council, before you just get to that, what's the report that you were referring to, and who are the authors, or who is the author?
Yes, I would come to that.
Please.
Sorry, General.
Okay, Council.
I just want us to understand each other. What I'm trying to do is to try to draw parallels between 2006 and 2009.
Well, 2006 and 2019
right? And we have to be honest enough and accept the violations of the law, whether we knew that they were violations or not. And the whole reason for this is we have a responsibility to show a systemic violation of the laws, so that these things can be corrected in the future. That is the whole purpose. We do not have any other ulterior motive other than that. General, we are examining the violations of your rights. That is our obligation. But equally, it is our obligation to investigate the violations of the rights of the others. And I am trying to show that what is good for the goose, in this case, is also good for the gander. Just like your rights were violated, it was the same approach and the same system that violated the rights of others. This is what we're trying to do. And fairness and honesty would dictate calling a spade a spade. What was done to you that was wrong and done to some other person would equally be wrong. This is what we are trying to show.
Council, certainly I agree with you. Calling a spade a spade. But when a spade is not seen, how could that person call it a spade? When the person sees a spade, he'll call it a spade. So whatever I say here, I've said it is not a trial court. Take that from me.
General,
I've wrote a statement. So whatever I say here, even in a trial court, the evidence is adduced by whoever, certainly has to be taken by the judge. And he makes a decision on those at the end of the day. I stand by whatever I say here, and I stand by whatever comes out of it. Because I know it is only the truth that I know is what I'm saying.
Okay, General, thank you very much. And it's only the truth that we're seeking for. No, nothing else. The torture of your colleagues in 2009 by that group from State House at the NIA was unlawful, just like the torture of the 2006 crew by the people from State House at the NIA was unlawful. Well, fortunately, according to you, you were spared. Just like Ja was spared. So the system had a way of shielding some people and brutalizing the others. I will move on.
So I disagree with you, that assertion. To say that the system has other people that it favors and brutalizing the others. Those that conduct this, whatsoever you call brutalizing witnesses. It doesn't follow that all the time it was the same people that comes. Probably the people who got me out that day might be different from those that got other people those days. And as human beings, we have different reactions. Others can be good. Others can be bad. But if I tell you that I was never tortured, take that from me. I don't think that should be an issue. The comparison of those who were tortured and those who were not tortured. You have the facts before you. Evidence that was adduced by other witnesses. Now you take those two evidence, mine and theirs, and then present it before the commission. But I will not sit here and lie that I was tortured, when in actual sense I wasn't.
But General, you are fixated on this question about your own torture. I never said anything like that. I never suggested that you were tortured.
Then let's move on.
You were not tortured, I accepted it.
Then let's move on.
And indeed we are on. We are on to other things. I have lots of statements here which say you were tortured. I never confronted you with
Can they be more rightful than me?
But General, I never confronted you with any single one of them.
No, you said many statements that suggest that I was tortured.
Yes, I do. I have it here. But
yes.
I never brought them out to you.
But which one is more reliable?
Can we continue to the next point that we want to do? Council, can you answer my question on the origin of the report, the source of the report?
Yes.
Who the authors are, please,
yes,
and the date?
Yes, yes,
But
Mr.
let's
Chair.
continue,
Yes,
please,
Mr. Chair.
the exchange.
And General, be assured that this is your own victimization.
Yeah, If we
you said you were not tortured. We are moving on. We are not touching that.
If it is my own victimization, I have said it here, what I went through. Take that from me. Disregards what you were told by another person. I faced it. I was the one who faced it. If you don't want to take it from me,
can we go on, please?
That is it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. But let the record also show that we have not confronted you with anything showing that you were tortured. We did not do that.
The statements that you were saying that you have evidence there. So that is something that you have confronted me with.
Mr. Chair, I have this report on the alleged coup plot.
Mr. Chair, report odo bembulujang men sujita ni kudeta bayro wala ko.
General, I'll send it to you to take a look at.
General, mbal report o nyin kile pour ya juve.
We prepared the report.
The report was prepared by the panel of investigators at the NIA.
Report on meya dada wala mu panel mebe ko nyin kisikisi kanung NIA.
It was January 22nd, 2009.
January karoti limonga ni fula 2009 sangolan kono ni report on dada.
The members of the panel are listed.
Menu be panel on nyin kono itol be sakingele.
Unfortunately, the last page is ripped off.
It's
the staple, it's come off, so we would attach it again. And the report was not signed by any member of the panel.
The report on you bring us a panel members or panel member kono iman report on you must sign.
So the top page is also about to come off. I think the date of the report may be wrong. You see, the typical mistake at the beginning of the new year, people always forget to change to the actual new year. You know, they always refer to the previous year. The events being investigated were November 27th, 2009, but the report is dated 22nd January 2009. I want to believe they meant 2010. So I would send the report to General to make a quick browse through.
The report okay generally report on you
just so that
in the meantime, Council, would you still recommend, with all the gaps and the holes that you mentioned in it, that it be admitted?
We wouldn't admit it now. We would admit it when the NIA bosses come.
Okay, fine.
The reason why I am bringing this report is general. The conclusion of that report recommended that you be charged for treason in that you were organizing a coup d'etat and that you had taken steps.
General larilo me asa mbenyi report on narega wala nyindi ko report on nyina kumfa blato e men itandi je wala nyindi ko ite be tumiro lale kan wala nyindi ko e tumiro be tumiro men lale wala nyindi treason wala mjamfa jawodi be wala lale kan.
Do you agree with the contents of that report, with the conclusion of that report that I have just summarized? You could look at it at the last page.
Report on nyina kumfa blato ma je jube ba kuma ko membe kasirin je ya jube fo report on nyina mem fudi fo ison kala bang.
And of course, you pleaded not guilty to the charges that emanated from this report.
And report on membe je van tumiro le melle kan ko imanson tumiro nyina yola safoje.
I take it that your answer would be that you do not agree to the findings or recommendations of this report.
Botomba tala ko ni report on nyinga menje karwi kisikisiro nyinga men kumfa je wala nyinde ko tumiro nyi imanson ala to le menje.
The conclusions would be on the second to last page.
Yes. Thank you, Council.
Council.
I've gone through the report and I deny that this report is not correct, which they suggested that I was part of a group that planned a coup. So I disagree with this report.
Thank you, General. Could you briefly just tell this commission what happened that culminated to you being charged with treason? Why do you or how did you come to be charged with treason?
Council, I've talked about our arrest in respect of this alleged coup. It happened that two young boys, small boys for that matter, accused us of planning a coup. These were those named as Ibrahim Asanyang and Rui Jabi Gasama. Or Rui Jabi Kujabi whatsoever. Following that allegation, we got arrested, investigated. But it happened that all of us denied the allegation. But that notwithstanding, it happened one day that before we were charged, I still remembered it was on a Monday that Abdullah Juf and Brigadier General Omar Bumbai were with us at the Mile 2 prisons. Were removed from the prisons and taken away. And what we heard later was they were released. And we further heard that on a Wednesday, some others will be released. And on a Friday, the last group that includes myself will be released. But the following day, Tuesday, we saw Abdullah Juf and General Omar Mumbai being returned back to the prison. Later we came to understand that there was a big concern from the panel members because they felt that once we were released, suddenly the president will turn around
president be falin na la yelema
and have them arrested.
andu be tol mutalale.
But something led to this release.
Bari muninata in fenna yakende anfo nyumbularo keta.
The president at the time,
President Wotembo,
President Yahya Jammeh,
President Yahya Jammeh,
got confused
with
the briefings he was getting from the panel at the NIA. Because he kept receiving different statements. To the extent that he assigned one Sehu Jallo that he must come to the panel and get the real facts. And Sehu Jallo came to the panel. I recall I was taken before the panel and confronted with one of the witnesses, Ibrahim Asanya. When I narrated what I knew about the coup, and that Ibrahim was given the chance to also explain, Ibrahim started explaining fresh things that were never mentioned earlier. But before he could proceed further, the panel has to call off the confrontation. But all that time, Sehu was there, Sehu Jallo was there taking notes. And it was one boy called JT Kujabi. This JT Kujabi was not working for the NIA. He was not a security officer. But he was in the panel that day. Knowing that this Ibrahim Asanya was trying to reveal the facts, which will lead to Sehu getting the real true story of the allegations. And then knowing that if Sehu unraveled the truth, I mean the panel knowing that, and if he presents those facts to the president, certainly the president will release us. And at that time, if you give a lie to the president and he comes to realize the truth, you, the liar, becomes the victim. So when they knew about that, what they did was, in fact, that was how Sehu went to the president and gave him the true story of this allegation. And the following day, Monday, that was what led to the release of Abdullah Juf and Omar Bunbai. And a plan was in place so that on a Wednesday, a team will be released. And Friday, I, along others, will be the last to be released. But those people who allege us, who fabricated this evidence, when they heard about the release of Abdullah Juf and Omar Bunbai, knowing that the next move is they will be arrested for telling lies against the president, they went and used the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecution.
General, allow me to interrupt you here. I hate doing that, but allow me to do so. Who is this person or this group of people that sought to have you incriminated? That have come to realize that this initial allegation is going to fail and they went to the DPP.
Council, following our arrest, certainly we were able to gather some information. These two boys that are mentioned that allege us, we are made to understand they earlier on alleged the former IGP Usman Song as Takafly Esa Baji. He was the first to be alleged. But until he was invited to the NIA,
hanfo ya command NIA
and then all of a sudden things twisted the other way around.
bari wati sutun kono kul nata falling
So for us,
ntelu
we believe that
ila tala ko
he was part of those
atabe molle kono
because
katu
he was part of the panelists
atabe panelo la molu kono
that investigated us.
min yente lako kisiki
And we were of the opinion that
andun telu min lonko
him knowing those small boy
atabe mo fulolu lonne kambande
being liars,
ko mu bulol leti
they have adequately briefed the president
andu ya asika chalo president
about the ordeal he had with them.
pour ate kole ko men soto wul bulu
These small boys,
nim fondin kandin fulolu
in fact, whether I'll say they fooled or they tricked,
anu yenene yemolle nene
even the chief of defense staff of the armed forces at the time,
ani membe sojar kundon kayala utumo ya nenele
who was Masane Kinte.
namu masane kinteti utumo
He said Ibrahim Asanyang
ni Ibrahim Asanyang
was able to impersonate
aya kata hanufo ay mola lodulata
and made a call to the CDS at the time, Masane,
ay kumasane kinte kumandi memu CDS ni utumo
that he was sent to Farafenye barracks by the president.
ko president wala yate ki Farafenye barracks
In fact, the CDS at that time, Masane Kinte,
andu utumo CDS masane kinte
was called to our court
ya kumandi ntelakiti bundara
as a witness,
kake seloti
and he confirmed that.
anda yo tonya yandi
This Rui went to the Farafenye barracks,
ni ruita ta Farafenye sojar kampoto
and he was able to trick the soldiers there,
anda ay sojarolu neneje
the commanding officer for that matter,
memu sojarolu la nyaton ko
that he was on the mission of the president.
ko president wala yate
General, let me ask you a question.
General barumi nyininkarola
All this information came out in the trial, didn't it?
kibarol be na finde kidio nyi wato nyi
Came out,
man finde
counsel.
findita jele council
Was this small boy arrested?
wani boy ni kambande nyi na mutala bang
Counsel, after our sentencing,
council biri entelu sorom fuka pare
these two small boys,
ñun kambandi fulolu
they got arrested
ye muta
and they were detained
andu itate sindi
in Janjambure prison.
janjambure kasola
So they stayed in the prison all that while.
ibe kasola wo wato be
We were pardoned by the president.
president nata yam fantoliye
All that time they were in the prison in Janjambure
be atara itolo be kasola janjambure
until when the new government of President Barrow came in,
fo baro president baro la masakunda kutus
they were the ones who released them.
wolle yebula
But you would agree with me
rebe son na malako
that the system
ko la nyabe nu nyamen
that was used to put Esa Baji in trouble
mi menta ka esa baji bula kole yakono
is the same system that was used to put you in trouble.
wasisi wo ko la nya kilmo nyi yola ta yete fana bula kole ya nyi kono
Correct?
tonya
Council, when you say system, what system are you talking about?
council ni ko ko la nya mun ku la nya façon le moti
Call it approach.
afo ko na samba nyami
Call it same group of people.
afo ateo kafu kilimo molu
Call it similar type accusation.
afo ateo tumir façon kilimolo
Would you agree?
What I will agree to is
ndeson na men wolem
a group of people
afu molu sotonta
certainly wanted to see us
wolu lefta men jela num kan toluje
in trouble,
toluje kata kono
and they allege us of plotting a coup,
andu yenu fo makuma kuneta le fer
which they carried to the president.
yo men kibaro samba
So
president
sooner or later, the president was briefed on the facts by Sehu Jallo. I've said it here.
bari ko la watu kono sewu jallu nata kulu bo president
Certainly, the president, started releasing our team.
tambolem president molu abula adamu takamolu bula
And if those same people go around using the DPP,
niyo mo kilo tata murumuru le DPP ta ka
or the
bula
DPP who had the investigation file,
andu DPP kisi ro kayto file be wala bulu
suggest to the president that this was a coup in the making. It was real.
atata fo president mo ko to nyato en kudeta fere tale mum
What the president could do at that time was to have us rearrested.
president men ke no wotembo wala mundi kamuru kandelisen kamuta
And that was what happened.
andu wala kita
Because we all know what the DPP means in terms of being advisor to the president in legal issues.
kadun tulbe alon DPP no dula mo menti menka ya maro dia ko be larim president la karola nyami
General, let's come to the accusation against you with regards to the 2006 coup.
silanga na ko to wala men ka membe sujirin din tumiro la menkete la 2006
Uh, Council, I'm ready.
Please.
Okay, for the 2006, the allegation against me,
2006
when we were detained in prison following the allegation for the 2009 coup plot, on the arrival there, it was when we came to know that another plot was being set up against us. That is those that were involved in the 2006 coup, subsequently arrested and sentenced by a court martial. They were aggrieved. At that time, there was one man called Kevarimo Bojang. Kevarimo Bojang comes from Kanilai. We are made to understand that he was detained by the president in the prisons. So knowing that he was from Kanilai, and the president comes from Kanilai, this Kebarima Bojang was used by those sentenced in the 2006 coup, particularly Modu Aliuba, Emeba. Because when we were there, we are made to understand that this Modu Aliuba was the one taking care of this Kebarimo Bojang. In terms of helping him, acquire good food and other financial support. So the arrangement they did was, they knew that Kebarimo Bojang would be released soon. They put to him that when he is released, let him talk to the president about them, that they are sorry, and that there are other people who are part of the coup. The reason being that they wanted the president to be angry in hearing that news from them. And those people they alleged to be part of the coup was my own self. The other people were Commodore Sajo Fofana, Wali Nyang, Captain Wali Nyang, Babi Navy Lieutenant Silla Kujabi, Navy Bakono Soldier Lieutenant Tome Kafai Silla Kujabi, Fali Jabang, and I cannot remember the names of the other people. So when he reported, when Kebarimo was released, presented those plans to the president. At the time, the president didn't know that it was a plan. So Kebarimo succeeded in having Modu Aliuba released from prison. He had a presidential pardon. So when he was pardoned, he benefited from all his salaries that were in arrears. He was reinstated back into the army, and he was promoted. So now he was the one to take up that plan of convincing the president that those coups of 2006 who were sentenced were sorry for what happened. So they want to seek for his apology. And he was to tell the president that myself and those people I mentioned, we were part of the coup. And in doing so, they had hope that the president will release them, the other 2006 coups who were sentenced in Mile 2. So that was how they filtered the information to the NIA
ya kibaro di NIA la mulla
that touches on our involvement.
meye itelula dabulo itandije
And eventually, Captain Sergio Fofana
bito ya sabu Navy Captain Sergio Fofana
got arrested.
ya muta.
He was the chairman of the court martial.
Telon siran tioti ni mende sojar kito tamandi.
So all those officers who served in the panel, in the court martial panel, that sentenced them,
do kulalu sojarol men betarta wo sojar kitindi panelo nyin kono men yetelu sorong
were either arrested,
yo dolu muta
detained,
ye sorong
or dismissed from the service.
wala ye bay sojar yala.
And then that was, Sergio Fofana was in mile 2.
Tumo Sergio Fofana be mile 2.
Captain Wali Nyang was also detained in mile 2.
Captain Wali Nyang fana ya nati mile 2.
But others were allowed, released, they were dismissed and released to go home.
Bare dolu bay su ila do koto ye bulay seita.
So some of these 2006 coups,
Bo to molu menni muti ye mennu mutano in 2006 kudeta kamma.
whilst we were in mile 2 with them,
Ni be nyo kam tu men mile 2.
we have been taken in and out.
Ke fintindi ke murundina.
Bunjadabo was among them.
Unja dabo be wolle kono.
Kamara was among them.
Asa kamara be wolle kono.
Captain Dabo was among them.
Allow me, General, to just interrupt. Why were they being taken out and in? What do you mean by that?
We were taken to the Justice Ministry and also to the NIA, where they started writing statements to implicate us. It was Bunya Dabo and Emeba who wrote statements to implicate me that I was part of the coup. Bunya Dabo stating that Nurcham informed him that I was part of the coup. Emeba also stated that when he knew about the coup, he informed my orderly, and my orderly informed me. And Wasa also wrote a statement against Silla Kujabi. So all those, like I said, all those who were part of their court martial panel were implicated and statements written by them. So when they succeeded in that, and Emeba was released, before we were taken to a court, Emeba did not do what they agreed, which was to make sure that he helped them so that they will also be released. So when our day of trial came, of course me and Sergio Fofana were the ones charged. During our trial, some of them were called as witnesses. In my own case, it was Modu Aliuba, who was already outright, and Bunya Dabo were to testify against me, to state my involvement in the coup. And for Sergio Fofana, at that moment, it was Captain Dabo. He appeared before this commission.
Yaya Dabo, you mean?
Yaya Dabo, correct. Yaya Dabo made a statement alleging the involvement of Sergio Fofana. So on the day of the court, myself and Sergio Fofana were taken to the courts. Yaya Dabo and Bunya also were brought to the court to testify as witness, and Emeba. When the matter was called, Bunya was to be in the dock to give his witness statement. He refused. He said he will not get in the dock. There was a lot of push and pull, but he insisted that he will not, saying that he did not make any statement against anybody.
General, he said that he will not swear under oath.
Yes, correct.
And take the witness box.
And
the question was, whether an unsworn witness
fok sedo men me kali
who does not fall within the exceptions of the law,
me yalan ko luwa la nyamen ko ni mente hani men me kali as
like a child or a person who cannot understand the nature or consequence of an oath.
me yalan ko misal fe dindingo waranto mola me yalan ko amalon ko yal men be kalo koto.
How could the person testify without that?
o mari be sedo dilo dino la nyaadi le
Proceed,
na mo
General.
kalota.
But then, General, just a minute. I stand guided by you, Mr. Chair. It's 3 o'clock. We haven't taken the lunch break. How do you want us to proceed? I was expecting that the General would finish before the lunch break, but it looks very unlikely. So how do we proceed?
We are hungry to hear the end of his testimony, so let's continue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. General.
Council, it happened this way.
Ansula akiranya nyalo akiratan.
When Bunya was called,
Bri bunja kumandi.
Bunya did not argue on the issue of swearing.
Bunja among nyosaboke kuola memus kali kuoti.
Bunya said that he will not step in the witness box.
Bunja ko ataduna boxo kono sede boxo nyin kono.
He refused to testify.
Abalanta ka sede andirodi.
When Yaya Dabo was called,
Bri Yaya Dabo kumandi.
Yaya refused to be sworn in,
Yaya balanta puri ya kalindi.
but he accepted to step in the witness box.
Bari asonta puri kalo boxo nyin kono.
So eventually,
Bari nyala bawni.
Yaya was allowed to step in the witness box
Yaya esilo diala pura lo boxo nyin kono.
without swearing.
Wat amankaloke.
So he gave his evidence,
Ayala sede andirodi.
and then that was it for the day.
Wala kita ko nyin tilo nyin la bawte.
But Bunya refused to step in the witness
Bari
box.
bunja o balanta la puri kado boxo nyin.
So they did not reach at the level of swearing.
Imam futa te silo tembe ota men puru kali ko nyin to.
Then we went back, we were taken back to Mile 2.
Yemburundi kasibumbato.
A new date was given.
Inarana lumdo tambo.
We were taken there again.
Inarana lungo nyin tom mento murundake.
But this time, Bunya refused to go to the courtroom.
Bari nyin sila do bunja balanta kata kitir bumoro.
He stayed at the prison yard.
Abtuta ki kasoto.
But Yaya Dabo accepted to go to the prison.
Bari Yaya sonta pur kata kiti dularo.
And he was taken.
Andung yata.
So that day too,
Olungo nyin fana.
Yaya said the same thing.
Ay kuma kini wala fo.
That what he wrote about Fofana's involvement
Ay mensa fe fofana da dabulo do kureta nyin to.
wasn't true.
O manke to nyati.
So he's denying that.
Abe balanka wala.
That Fofana wasn't involved.
Ko fofana data ko nyin kon.
But Emeba was there that day.
Bari wolungo emeba benu njele.
He stepped in the witness box.
A lot of box ko nyin kono, sede box ko nyin kono.
And he told the judge that
Ayen fo kiti tela
when he knew about the coup d'etat,
biringa nyi kudeta nyin na kumo moy.
he told my orderly that
Kaya fontela kantar la enne.
he wanted to see me.
Ko alaftante jelale.
And the orderly brought him to me.
Andu na kantar la nyi ya natinte.
And he told me about the plan coup.
Andu ngai ko fero nyin kudeta fero nyi ya fonyele.
That was the evidence he gave.
Ayo kuseda ndiro la dikidi laro.
But he said he didn't tell me, he was afraid
Ako abe silatale nu.
to mention that during the court martial.
Asilatale nu ko fo nu kidi laro nu court
Because he
martial.
thought that if he mentioned that in the court martial,
Kato ako ninga jikita nyina ninga yo fo nu court martial laro.
I was going to go after him.
Andebe bulala normale.
That was what he said in the court.
Ayo wala fo nu kidi laro.
And then that was how we closed for the day.
Wolungo nyin kidi nyi ya lu ya
And
sanjo
then
mo
in the
nyal.
subsequent days,
Wolungo me nana lungu fula nyomen ta.
he continued testifying
Atenten dala sede ndiro la.
until we reached at the ruling judgment day.
Fom futa lungu me nyana kidi nyin kundula.
The judge was Ikpala.
Kiti tela ni mutomu ikpalalti.
In the judgment,
Kiti dula dudo.
certainly our lawyer was optimistic that we were going to win the case.
Kiti na lawyer membe lori ntola karola obe jikiri ndanu ko ntolbe kiti yo nyingamba ganyele.
Our lawyer was Sirif Tambedo.
Ntola lawyer membe wala msirif tambiduti.
Because it is very clear in the law
Katu ngabe senari ne luato.
that when you charge somebody for treason,
Katu niye mo tumi ni njamfa jawala.
there is no way he can be sentenced in uncorroborated evidence.
Ita sambano la kasota nyinkamala ko kiti sedandrol menu dita sedandrol imanyoma.
So it was obvious that
Wodo jalilo kamala.
in my case,
Ntela kiti yoto.
the evidence adduced by Modu Aliuba
Modu aliuba sedandrol mendi.
wasn't corroborated by any witness.
Hani sede kilinte je mialon ko ila kumakao nye nyomutale.
And because nobody adduced evidence against Sergeant Fofana,
Anu tumala mena moma sedandrol di kasado Sergeant Fofana dum.
because Yaya Dabo withdrew to testify.
Ya dabo umurta ko mala ka balanta la purka na sedandrol di.
So on the judgment day,
Kiti telu ngonying.
I was found guilty
Ya yen muta ko ende boyendile.
by the judge Ikpala.
Ye kiti tela nying ikpala.
Even though that
hano nyawnya
the evidence adduced by Emeba
sedendro ema ba emendi
wasn't corroborated,
ani ni do ko tangol tamam nyomuta
he still found me guilty.
tititela ko hanka bi ante boyindile
And that was how I was sentenced,
yente soron wala nyama
even though I was serving the death sentence at that time.
hando wato yen soron ne ko nyandam falale
Then this judgment was still passed on me.
ando nyinkiti yo nyi hanka bi nata na tentending kam
So in the first trial, you were sentenced to death.
kansul kay ko kititi follow nyi menketa yo amuda ye soron ko nyanne falale
Alright, we all the 9 of us were sentenced to death.
o nyala ndol mo koronto be ko nyandam falale
What happened to this 8th person, the person Izidin Rambo? What happened to him?
mune nataka Izidin la Rambo mune nataka
In that case, after our sentencing,
o kola kabri yen soron
and we are all serving in the Mile 2 prisons,
be tarta kan na soron iro nyilla kasibumbato
one evening,
ulara killing
Rambo was taken away.
e lambo samba
But he was staying opposite my room,
bari ya be si ya be damendo na bungo karta ndawla jabe wolto
and we were worried. I was worried particularly.
ayende wala surtout tefon
Why was he being taken away in that late evening,
ya
around 7,
sabu ya
8 p.m.,
samba o sutola
between 7 and 8 p.m.?
tala woro wala karata lan sey mafan
Because when he was going,
kabri ngabita
he went with only his jumper.
anala jompa drone tata
So later on,
nyaado
we
domandi
tried to inquire.
na kata purka ko nyi
That is in the following days.
wala mo samolti
Until later we heard that
fo nyaado nata na moy
he left the country.
ko ay banko bulale
And we were made to understand that
andu ngay kala mutaf ko
he had a presidential pardon.
ko be president wala yam fataye
Nicodemusly at night.
sutola
So then pardon?
This was around 8 p.m.
kayam fo ke mola sutola
This was around 8 p.m.
nyinkera talang sey mafan wala
A pardon at night, and suddenly on that same day the person was whisked out of the country.
yam fo keta mola me alon ko keta sutola no suta kilimo nyinga nata na banko bula
Did it look regular to you?
o kada feneti mi alon ko anyantala ka kebang
For us, we felt that maybe the president has that authority.
tol purun tol ngajale ko tol mi ngamira ko president ngo nyinga yo sembo soto la
And
yo soto la
when it comes to the issue of being regular or not,
ni nata kule ka fo ko fo nyantale bang fa man jam
I could remember some prisoners being pardoned around that same time of 8 p.m.
hakilo ba kan kasolan ka dol fana nan soto ndaje men yalon ko ina ne bula ina ne jam fo yam fo dila o wato la
It
monto
had
wa
happened
kilo
on several occasions.
o keta kenken dajele
All right. So it was no big deal for you.
sa kam to ko manke te kubati
Certainly, hence it was happening, so it wasn't a big deal.
o yala tumala men na ke
The rumor in town was that he was paid money to release that person. If that was to be the case, would you still say that that is regular?
ngunu kumol min ka fo wolen comme ay womari ha te joko dolla sa natara wolem itebe muna sotola kafo
Also, we are not privy to that information, that rumor.
o kibaro nyinde o gunu nyinde ndol mawo moy
I know that
mighty unlawful, wouldn't it?
kon wodo bekke feneti mi alon ko loi man songa
Also, I know that
ngai lonko council
the president
president o
is vested with powers
loi symbol diala
to accord pardon to prisoners.
General, could you use former president instead of the president?
Okay,
because the record may...
Sorry, Council.
general ni be diamula isa for president koto kakala for president oni
I agree, sorry, Council.
Thank you very much. General, you seem to be avoiding,
general akam to go ika bore ko
deliberately avoiding saying anything that would suggest that Yaya Jammeh acted unlawfully.
ko min fengo feng mi alon ka bay tan le ko ya jame e kule ke mi alon ka ni loi man ta nyo
That has been the trend of your entire testimony.
illa kuma ko be ya dija ikata ni wo taran silula
Council, maybe that is the way you see it.
council asikeno ite ya ko
But I know that
barinte ngani lon ko
I'm seated here
mbe siri njanne
to talk the truth
ka to nyafo
and nothing but the truth.
dum fente fo nte fem fola na
I
mema
don't want to be speculative.
manda fika ko nyin kai
In this case of Rambo,
rambo la ko
we were incarcerated in the prisons.
to de murane nun kasoto
So whatever happens outside,
ko ko keta banta
we cannot be able to confirm that.
to to nyayandi no
Anything we'll hear about that
ko ko moy woto
will certainly be rumor.
be kala mun
That is why
wala ya sabu
this is my position.
ina mun na lodlade
General, are you still afraid of Yaya Jammeh?
general fo hani sa be landing ya jamela ba
Council, I had never been afraid of Yaya Jammeh.
council nana man sila ya jamme
Yaya Jammeh was my president and commander-in-chief.
ya jamme mun nan president ngolti ando atele mun na nyaton ko
And of course, I have to give him that honor and respect.
ando dalilo ga ngaw bunyani o
And
bunyani ko
even President Barrow,
hani president baro
is the same honor and respect I accorded him.
hormoni bunya ngawle dia
And
It is not
General,
because I was afraid. No.
And General, we all do respect our president and the commander-in-chief, past or present. But commander-in-chief acted unlawfully. We still should be in place to have the courage to pronounce it as an unlawful conduct. Just willing of Dabamarena as unlawful. And just like you were able to condemn the fact that the president killed his own sister or cousin.
Point of correction, I never said that he killed his own sister. You can go through my evidence, I never mentioned that.
Well, you seem to have accepted
that evidence be brought forward. I never said that because I had no evidence which suggests that he killed his own sister.
Okay, when you go home, review the tape, review the record. I would withdraw that, but between you and I, you would know what you said. You can review it. But the fact of the matter is,
I will disagree when you say between you and I. This is a courtroom where I give my testimony.
General, I have withdrawn that. Are you satisfied?
I am.
So when you go home, you review what you have said. And the commission would also review what you have said. But you seem to have condemned the killing of Dabamarena and Masi Jammeh.
General Masi Jammeh.
Yes.
Masi Jammeh fanyato. Certainly, I can condemn it as I am human. But I never made any suggestion that it was the president who killed them. Certainly, when lives are lost, one has to condemn them. Certainly.
General, maybe somebody would just cut that part of the video and post it somewhere. But when you go home, watch it, I withdraw the statement as if you've never made it. But the issue here is...
even whereas if that is the case, it must be slip of the tongue.
General,
that was not what I meant.
There have been many slips of
and I cannot remember making such statements.
There have been many slips of the tongue. We would put that aside.
Of course, it is human. It is human to make errors. I agree to that.
But General, you would agree with me that the system that convicted you violated your rights.
Council, certainly I blame the court system. I was sentenced by a court of law. So I blame that. I've mentioned here that the director of public prosecution, or if even that, I want to bring that to the commission. That prior to charge implemented, each of us, we did 9, we are taking timber. The day that we were taken there, that day it was myself, Obimbai, Modugay. We are taken before the DPP Chenge. I was the first to be led into his office. In reaching his office, he looked at me. He said, "Oh, you are young CDS, you are young general. Oh, you look smart and you are handsome." He said to me, "Look at this file. This file contains evidence and photographs of the boat, you people boat in Bissau
wala natalo me alon ko kulungale men sang Bissau
that was going to transport the weapons to the Gambia for your
kulungale nyanna o kidol nyin datila nang pour alla ko alla kureta ni
for your planned coup.
alla fere kureta fere ni
He said to me now,
ko nyako saying
what I want is
lafta men wala mu
if you could serve as state witness.
biya tare be sonda kake seedo te meme ko be bola mansala karolla
If you agree to that,
ni sonda wala
from here, my office here,
abon na jang na office ko na jang
you are going straight home.
ibe seeda suwo kono
You will not return back to my
ite murlam ma kasoto
My response to him was,
na jabiro kira menti aye
I am not that type.
manke o mo façon
I said, I'm sure you heard about me.
kay ko jikita yennan ko mo moyle
And look at me properly.
jube fam fanke bam
There is no situation
ko la nyaaw nyaala tije
that can warrant me to lie,
même baye sabu lan nga fani afo
pardon,
ay ka wuli afo
and leave my colleagues in the prison.
nammo mo nyodol muda kas bula
I said,
kasoto
all I can tell you
kay simen be fo no e
that the allegations were a lie.
mirol la même fo kama be fani
I
al
said to him, return me back to Mile 2.
kay ko murundi kasoto
That was how I was led out of his office.
yen tammin kendi wala yen tambu dambole e findal office ko no
Then Moduge was ushered in the office.
e moduje fana dundi dal office
The
ko
same offer was given to Moduge,
moduje fana menketa na e fana ko kino faye
which he declined.
andu moduje fana balanta
He was led out.
ya findindi na
Brigadier General Omar Mbai was led in.
brigadier general obi mbay fana ya fana dundi
The same offer,
ta fana nyakil mo nyama
which he declined.
da fana balanta
So in a sense,
ro nyi dalilo kam
all the 9 of us
dol mo konon tobe
got offers
ye bunya fengol le zibni
so that you can accept the making of the coup,
isaje sison ko coup d'etat nyi membayta
serve as a witness,
pour yeke sedoti
and then you'll be pardoned to go home,
be yamfale pour yese iso kono
which we all declined.
andu be balanda wala
General,
Counsel,
you would not have been convicted with regards to the 2006 coup if there was no Emeba.
General, tendun loi bulote lale kan foye solong na atra nung Emeba la kumakawal tije.
You agree?
Sonda wala fo.
Counsel, I agree that even Emeba testifying before me,
council sonda wala handi ngara ko eme baye sedando de nyati ngala
the law is very clear on that.
loi o senata wotole
Anybody charged for treason
momo yalan ko ya tumi nyin tuma jawra jamra jawla
cannot be sentenced with uncorroborated evidence.
mari to mari soron no ninga dra sedandiro men diraw kitiyo nyati wala ku sedandiro nyi manyo muta
General, your answer could have been a simple yes, and we save all that time.
General, ila jabiro nyinga anyanta kala nun dorong halate dorong isaje nkana wati jamata.
And so like I said, this is not a court proceeding.
council ko manga fa nyame jamba ke kidi
This is an investigation.
mu kiskisel bundal
I should be allowed to explain further.
andu fo ali nyana silo dina na
That is what I'm doing.
But you haven't given any further explanation. All you have just done is just to move on to issues that you were not asked.
Bahani saya ika imantara kumul fokan kendeke ibe mi fokan dora ika kumule jabi mi ay mi
But let me proceed.
bahani saya mbatu nga continue.
Emeba was pardoned by the president.
Emeba president wala yam futay.
Correct?
Tonya.
You just told us
Ya fonye janko.
that Kebaring Bojang was used
Kebaringo ya tale
to influence the president,
uruka adundi president otiko toko
to bring out Emeba
priye Emeba fintindina
on trump-up charges to convict you.
kom ya wena diamu itakang isaje sete sorono.
Certainly, I said that here, that was the plan they set in the prison.
Na fole nu follow ko ye fero lesitinu.
Just tell me a yes or no. That we don't
Fonye
have to
dorong,
expand
hawala.
it. Otherwise we'll be here till tomorrow.
Ni wonte mbatara jane fo sam.
Kebaringo,
Kebaringo
sorry,
Emeba
was facilitated by Yaya Jammeh.
ya jemele ya keko kome anyanda kalaminti.
True or false?
Womuto nyalti ba.
I don't understand when you say it was facilitated.
Well,
Mo kodolo niyo.
Because I know that it was
Ngala
Kebaringo
nako.
who carried those words to the president. So I see as Kebaringo was the one who facilitated.
Ngajelo ko Kebaringo wale wo kuma kongol di president.
By talking to the president.
you are prepared to blame everybody else except Jammeh, who accepted,
Ite paretele ka mobe dundi fa
who
da jamme dorong.
approved,
Mi alon ko wala sonda nyinko.
who made it happen.
Mi atina faketa.
You blame everybody else
Ibe mobe jale kan dorong.
except Jammeh.
Fo jamme dorong.
Isn't that the case?
Fo wonte ba.
And so that isn't the case.
Ansula manke wo.
When you talk about who facilitated for Emeba to get out of the prison,
Mia fo mia kendi fo Emeba ya bondi
it's obvious that it was Kebaringo who facilitated.
Kebaringo le woke.
And it was the president who approved.
Exactly.
I accept that.
If the president did not approve for Emeba to come out of prison,
Na tara president ngo ma fo ha eme ba se fintino kaso kono le.
would he have been out?
He wouldn't have been
Fintila
out.
ba.
He wouldn't have been out.
The fintila.
The deal that enabled Emeba to come out of prison,
Biya tinna fo eme ba fintita kaso kono.
have his dues paid,
Ya jo ala kuola.
given double promotion,
Ya la makamol kafu sinyafula.
and he testified against you,
Sa anata na kuma kongo dit itela kiti dulato.
would that have happened without Yaya Jammeh?
Na fo se keno le atara ya jeme monsongba.
And so, members, officers in the Gambia Armed Forces,
Bankola sojar bunda mol.
their promotions
Ila makama lafa.
are sanctioned or are approved
Minka songala wala minka ke.
by the president.
President wala kake.
So it's obvious that he approved Emeba's promotion.
Ota mobe sa abse koyno
But
la
you could have simply said yes.
eme ba finti.
You could have simply said yes.
Sa ka sonen le nyanta
So this
fula ha.
explanation you've just given is a waste of our
Sa
time.
kan yimbe min dande
And so my position is clear. In certain instances, I will explain. I'm not give the word yes. I
So
say
Lord
this is not a
Lavis
court of
and
law.
Adam.
It's not a trial.
dula wato dul bije fo nga dante kuol kada nyam jamman ke kiti dulati.
So Emeba came out of jail to testify against you
Eme ba finti dan kaso kono pour kana CDRO di etakang
on the basis of a deal with Yaya Jammeh.
comme ani ya jamele diamoto wala
On
practice
the
fintino
basis of a deal with Yaya Jammeh.
comme ya dilo min ka tani ya jame.
Obviously.
Council, this is the problem between me and you.
Kansul nyinen ko ya ko inteni tema de.
I wasn't aware of a deal between Emeba and President Yaya
Mon
Jammeh.
fen kala muta min ka ya jame
it
ni
is
eme ba.
obvious you are just denying
General ebe
a
balan kan toro.
patently obvious fact.
Fengol mi alon ko wol ketala senata mol.
You told us the deal organized by Keba Ringo
Ite ya fole keba rungo an ay min dilo mi an ka wole deda.
from Kanilai. Keba Ringo from Kanilai.
Keba rungo kabonan kanilay.
He was used to convince Yaya Jammeh.
Atele diamoto ya jame fo pour ka sondi.
Yaya Jammeh brought out Emeba from prison,
Ya jame eme ba boni nan kaso kon.
gave him back all his back pay,
Aya fengo be dial mi anyanta ka joala.
gave him double promotions from captain from lieutenant to major.
Aya la makamo la fa sinya fula ka bondi captain ka samba mejo makamo.
You were charged on the basis of his allegation,
Sa yete tumi nyinkan ko ate tumi rol min lekan.
and you were convicted on the basis of that.
Luwa nate muta.
You are prepared to blame everybody else except Yaya Jammeh.
Sa yete be parerin ka mo be jalay fa tuta ya jame doro.
General, that is glaringly obvious.
Jana wo mu fene de mi alon ko mo be salon no la ko mu kulati mi alon ko mo be wala ne.
Council, that isn't the case.
Manke quote the council.
If you see it that way,
Ni ajo nyam.
well and good.
Abetata.
General, you are afraid to implicate Yaya Jammeh
General.
in all the wrongful deeds against you and against your colleagues.
General, ibesile ne pour que ya jame dundi. Ay kool mi yalan ka wala kete fonala ani moñol.
That is the fact.
Wala mu toñati.
If that is your position, fine.
Na tare lo
This is your
tawol
position.
And General, in fact, that is the reason why you were released, when you were released from jail.
wala atina fon ye bula andu kabli ye bula kasero tafana.
You wrote to Yaya Jammeh,
Yesa faro ka kata ya jame kan.
and all you did was praise him.
Ye min ke doro wala ka jayi.
There was nowhere in your letter
Ela letro mi ya sabe fenti je dulati je mi alon ko.
where you in fact suggested the unlawfulness of your imprisonment.
Ko min kay tandala ko ye soron kaso do nyami anin luwa manta.
I will send you a copy,
Ba copy san lene.
and perhaps maybe you should read out the letter yourself.
Sa isa je letro ni fon sa karay fay.
You agree that you were wronged by the country.
Banko fongale kukela miana imanya na kakela.
You agree that.
Let me see the copy.
You agree that you were wronged by the country, you were wrongly incarcerated.
Ison dalako komi banko fongale kukela imanya na minkele andun luwa ya bulo le kane nyala miya minsilo manta.
I had said that several times.
Mo fole sinya jama.
Exactly.
Wala fong.
Take a look at the letter
Nying letaro jibe ba.
and read it out. to the
Ya
commission.
karang.
Read it all out to the commission.
Ak karang bang komisiono ya moy.
So what is the connection for me reading this letter here?
Council, nyingi mung chokil nyolo le nati ndala nyi letter o karang.
Are you also afraid to read it?
Foi sila dala ka karang bang.
Afraid of who?
Kasila jumala.
To read it out to the public?
Priya karang jamala mano be
I think that should be your assassin. You just answer.
I'm just asking you questions.
I ask you first.
I'm not here to answer questions. I'm here to ask the questions.
Yeah, hold on a second. Witness, is that a true copy of the letter you sent to President Jammeh? Taking a good look at it.
President Jammeh.
Yeah, but I cannot even remember this one. It is how many years from now? It is just a copy.
That's why I ask you if it is a true copy of what you sent to Jammeh.
President Jammeh.
It could be true, but I cannot remember. It's close to 10 years ago.
What's the date on the letter there?
Yes.
So there is no date.
That is why
I cannot remember.
Well, Mr. Chair, if he did not date the original, the copy would not have.
So there is no date on the letter?
But Mr. Chair, if he refuses.
No, come here. Yeah, if so no date on the letter.
There is no date.
Recall.
No address, no date, no nothing. It's just a mere copy like this with my picture there.
Among
what authenticity does this have?
Council, can you go ahead and then read what's there?
What is it? Council, please send it to me. Yes, Mr. Chair, if the witness cannot accept that, there is a record of his interview with the Daily Observer.
But send just give it to him. Can't spend time on just this.
I will read out.
Please go ahead.
I will read out the letter of appreciation. This is published. If you Google it in the internet, you will find it. And this is the caption: former CDS Tamba writes to President.
CDS
The former Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces, Lang Tombong Tamba, has written a letter of appreciation to the President of the Republic, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yaya AJJ Jammeh Babili Mansa, for granting him a presidential pardon that reunited him with his family.
Letter on Pruka Sutiani Mimbi, wala nyintiko, itef CDS koto nying, ye letteros safele ki president kaitandala ye kontano min soto, kabraye bondi kasota kayamfe.
And the message reads,
Sankuma ko nying minfoda.
Letter of appreciation.
Letter of Mialonko, President Jaila.
First and foremost, I would like to give praise to the Almighty Allah for this very important day in my life.
Follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tendula prunin lunku mami yala ketana baluokona.
reunion with my family and friends. Without adequate words though, it is with profound gratitude and sincere appreciation that I write this letter to Your Excellency. For exercising the prerogative of mercy by releasing me from sentence. My release is of utmost benefit to my family and relations. And therefore, we will continue to be grateful to you for this generosity of spirit. I pray that Almighty Allah continue to protect you on all fronts. Guide and grant you a healthy, long life so you continue driving this country to highest level of development. Your Excellency, the President, your action has sent an important message to the whole world. That the Gambia under your visionary leadership is tolerant. Respects our cultural norms and values. As well as wishes. Within the context of our governance system. Oneness and sympathy to one another. Furthermore, this audacious initiative clearly reiterates your democracy, which upholds our cultural and religious norms of mercy and forgiveness. I am proud of you and your government for having considered us for pardon. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala positively reward you abundantly. The past few years of my custody were difficult. However, these days were not just moments of restriction, but had transformed me spiritually and brought me closer ever to Almighty Allah than I was. My pride goes beyond having learned and completed reciting the holy book of Islam, the Quran. But I can now confirm I am a person whose faith in all aspects has strengthened. Alhamdulillah. Excellency, it is my conviction that your decision to release all ex-convicts was against the spirit of tolerance. Your in-depth knowledge of the contents and your beliefs in the teachings of the two holy books, the Quran and the Bible, Pan-Africanism, sympathy, national reconciliation and development. It is within the same spirit, therefore, that I wish to pledge to you the government and people of the Gambia of my allegiance at all times and forever. In addition, I also humbly ask for forgiveness from all Gambian people, including Your Excellency, that I might have wronged or caused any inconvenience while I was serving my custodial sentence. While I assure you and the entire country of my unwavering loyalty and continuous reconciliatory spirit, I must state that under no circumstance will I forget your nobleness in pardoning me. Sincerely, therefore, may I take this prospect to, on behalf of my humble self and on behalf of my family, profoundly thank you for the good gesture and wish you and your first family good health and long life. Furthermore, and to end my letter for now, I wish to deeply assure all contents of this letter emanate from the floor of my heart. And I shall uphold to whatever is stated. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Importantly also, I wish to pray for the state mother, Aja Asombi Boja, that Allah protect and give you good health and long life. Give her, I meant to say, so that she may continue to give the motherly inspiration to the nation. In conclusion, accept please Your Excellency the assurances of my highest consideration and fraternal esteem. Long live the Gambia. Long live Your Excellency. I remain your servant, Tombong Tamba, former Chief of Defense Staff. That's the letter. It's a beautifully worded letter.
Thank you, Council, very much. Witness, did you write a letter to President Jammeh shortly after your release?
Council, I'm trying to recall my memory, Chairman. Our legal representative, Sirif Tambedu, once told us that he wrote 2 letters to the President. One was, I think, to ask for clemency, and the other one, I couldn't remember. So probably, this might fall within the letters written by our legal representative. So he wrote 2 letters to the President on our behalf.
Did you write to the President at all yourself? I just want to know.
Chairman, I'm saying that usually when it's our legal counsel who writes to the President on our
Chairman,
behalf. And he, on 2 occasions, he wrote to the President.
So did you yourself ever write to the President shortly after your release?
I might have, but I can't remember, Council.
Does there's this letter that the Council read, did that capture the essence of what you would have written, if you remember, what happened.
Saying, Ning Kansula, Ning Letero Min Karanjante. For si Hakilo Blano, ko Blata Letero Economia, and Koyasa Felekata, President Kamba.
Certainly, Council, because it was to show our appreciation for our release.
Coming Kaitandal and Nakontano Alambulo.
Because even the day we were released, we were all given the opportunity to say something before the national television.
Yeah, what would in Tolbella and Tolbe killing Kuna, Purunga Fem for na television Bunda.
And each of us
Tolmomo
thank the President
Naitanda Concordanta
for releasing us
Pralambuloka
for the presidential pardon.
So
if this is the case,
so Natala
and our lawyer said he wrote about 2 letters to the President.
And no lawyer for a letter for a young I was a President.
This might be among those 2 letters.
Askino in letter or letter.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Council.
Mr. Chair,
this is now part of the record. It has been read into the record.
Is also an interview with the Daily Observer.
Mr. Chair, anane ninkaro ni jabiro sotata tema ikafo kibar bunda mi Daily Observer.
Kindly take a look at it. Would you recollect that this is a record of the interview?
Foi hakilo samano komi nyimu jabiro ni ninkaro ni jabiro leti minkede ni kibar bunda tema ikafo mi Daily Observer.
And Mr. Chair, put on the record that this report to emanate from Sheriff Tambedu or who we are hard in nature and to which we are grateful.
And
so what is your evidence on that? He was our legal representative.
My evidence, the letter purports to emanate from Tamba, former staff.
Yeah, sorry, interpreter. The point is well noted, the Council.
Thank you.
It's been read as part. So we move on to the interview situation, not spend time on this now.
Do you recall having made this interview, General?
Yes, I did.
Would you agree that this is the record of that interview?
Yes, this was.
Thank you very much. General,
General,
you said that when you stepped out of prison, you spoke to the press. And all of you thanked the President.
Yes, I did.
My purpose of bringing this out is no other reason but to show that this was the system. Everybody had to praise the President and thank him for pardoning you, irrespective of whether you were unfairly or improperly detained or convicted. And that was the expectation. General, that was the only reason I brought this thing out.
General,
you are not the only person to have sent a letter to the President thanking him. But that was the system. And this is the kind of system the Commission, or at least me, is bringing out to show how deplorable that the system would convict a person wrongly, and once the person is released, the person is expected to praise and apologize to that same system that wronged the person.
Coming mbole fintindikan commission onyi walante mbole fintindikan kaitandiko hana tara momi yalan ko luaye muta ye sorong ana manke tonya kanti hani obe ni luaye bula ika muru koteng ika na ika president ika itandala ko luaye muta yembula so mbe yamfo mbafule ko baraka.
For all those people who have been wrongly imprisoned,
molmi yalan ko ye sorong kasota anda manke silo kanti,
we as a country, we owe you.
Wo mol nying ntol mi yalan ko ntol mo Gambia di banko nyim banko nying nyanta nga fengo soto e kanede.
We have to correct that wrong we have done against them.
Wo tilimbaya minke wo marila ntol nyanta ka wo fo.
And not expect them to turn around and sing praises to the president who is responsible for wrongly putting them in jail.
And amanke ko be fintila nenga president o jay ayatra wo kanko ay soron kaso kono la nyala mi yalan ko anin loi manta.
And that is the point.
And wo form ko de.
Thank you, General.
General Balaka.
I have no further questions. And Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, I would ask to put the two reports. At the ICC, we always say, Mr. President.
I do.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, it's just habit. So I would ask that the two documents be put in evidence. Mr. Chair,
exhibit numbers?
I would give you an exhibit number after this break.
Fine.
Thank you. Could the Secretariat get me the document, please?
Thank you very much indeed. And if the commissioners don't have any questions, we will have the General make his closing remarks.
But
before he gets to that one, there is one very, very small point that I want him to clarify. I don't know if it's in connection with the 2009 attempted coup. Did I understand that the country was plunged into a political and perhaps a conspiratorial mayhem by what you refer to as two small boys, 7, 9, 10-year-old, plunging the Gambia in that kind of chaos? You refer to them as small boys, two small boys. How old were they?
Yeah, for Janago, dindin fula. Ako wato fo be sanji jelle wato.
Yeah, they might be around 15, 16.
Skeno be sanji tani lulu sanji tani woro.
Extraordinary. Please proceed. Please proceed to make your closing remarks.
Eso konne no le ye kuma kala ba di commission o nyato jam.
Chairman of the commission.
Chairman of commission oto jang.
Members of the
commission oto jang.
Lead counsel.
Lead counsel.
Deputy lead counsel.
Anano malanko.
Executive secretary.
Animi alanko ekafole executive secretary.
All those present here.
Ani mol mi yalanko bebe ma berin jang.
My family members.
Dimbayal.
Members of the press.
Ani kibar talal.
I say a big thank you
ala baraka
to this commission
min commission oto
for giving me the opportunity
for yewato min dinna
to sit here
prokasi jang
and talk of issues
kadiamu kuola
that concerns me.
Mi alon ko wolle ketan telephone la
Many times
sinya jama
when I'll be watching your proceedings,
nimbal jibela
I'll see some of the witnesses
besedo dol jela
making mention of me,
ibentol fola,
and I felt that
andungaje ko
this is an opportunity
ni mu watol ti prunte
for me to appear in person
prunga na nga benjam fama kum dim
and shed light
nga cool for
in that respect.
wakang
I want to say here that
lafta ka fo janko
all what I said here
nga fama fem fo jang
was said freely
nga fo le doronko
without any intimidation
tara mo mambatandi
or whatsoever.
ko kuti
And that is why
and wala yatina ko
I have to thank the commission
wala na nyenta commission o nyenta ka fo ya baraka
for the way and manner
ye kuol samba nyami
in which the proceedings were carried out here.
and ye kuol fo na samba nyami jang kabrin diamo be kering
Certainly this will give confidence.
watina la molle jiki ye song
I mean, for those who've not been here, we'll give them confidence
ngol mi yalan ko wolna na man tara jaw batana ye le fanna
to get the mind
ko wo hakilo soto
to appear before this commission.
kana lo nyin commission o nyatili ma
We must all be convinced as Gambians
ntolbe mo gambia dingol lati
that there is no, we must all be convinced as Gambians
an tolbe anyanda ka fenati mi yalan ko commune tolbe nyanta sonna ko tolbe bu gambia dingol lati
this commission,
nyin commission o
we as Gambians,
kontol mi yalan kontol mu gambia dingol lati
we should be convinced
nyanta ka lako
this commission is not set up
nyin commission o malandi nyin kanko
for a witch hunt,
pour kana ka bulamol noma
but instead
bari
to uncover
pour ka kuol bondi
things that have happened,
mi yalan ko woleketa
because it is only
katu ko woda malen siloti
uncovering those issues
pour ko wo kuol bondi mi yalan ko nunta
that can help us all
wala sentol be ma ko no
to make the corrections.
isa jen sa kuol telindi mi yalan ko man telino
And it is against that background
and wo ko kan ne mu fana
that I decided to come here.
wala nan sonto kana nan jang
And I want to assure you that
and mba fula tolbe ko kal landi nyin nako
all what I said here,
nga fengo fem fo jang
I have said it to the best of my ability.
nga fole ko nyenta ka fo nyami
I see the country
nga banko nyin jele ko
bigger than I am,
wala wartante fango kundi
and the interest of the country
andum banko fana la nafa ko
is what interests me.
wala fana mun tala nyantoti
You have a big task to carry out,
le do ko bala so dal nyanta ka minke
but I'm happy you are doing it fine.
bare kontan dal bake kan anya ko nyam
And with Allah's guidance,
anu alla de maro kan
certainly you will do this to the best satisfaction of all Gambians.
al bakela fo ay gambia no be wasa
Certainly it may not be possible for all to be satisfied,
a chekela no coming gambia dingol be be kontan la nyin ko wala
but I'm happy
bare kontan ta ko
that I've seen the majority of the panelists,
nga jele
the
ko
commissioners,
nga jele ko alfal min be sirinja wala commissionalti
are all elderly people.
wol be mo alfalet ke balle muyti
Most of them are parents,
mo jamal bi jang wol be mo dimbati oledi
and I've known some of you,
andu nga do longal konole
and certainly I have confidence
andu fana woka nga jigo sotalto
in this commission
nin commission auto
that it will discharge its duties.
komi bela do ko kelale yebula minna
Because like I said earlier,
komi nga fonu nyami foloke
I know there are certain books that will guide us.
ngalo ne ko buko dolbi je miyalan ko wolle ben sambanya wolle ba fulani
And when I see landed people
anu ningo ko mol miyalan ko e karanta
in the Quran
qur'ano to
and landed people
andu mol miyale karanta
in the religion of Christianity,
wolle cristiano la dino to
that further gives me hope
wolle fonga jiko dinako
that the deliberations of this commission,
commission on na dogo miyalan ka nyanta ka woleke
that further gives me hope
wolle fono atina fonga jiko soto kendeke
that it will be done
komi ba kelale
in the best of their ability,
ya no nyami
without fear or favor,
a tarete mo makola andu tasila la fen
ill will or affectionate.
andun ka foko ha nyina ko mo bunyama wala nyina bunyata ma wotije
So we Gambians,
ntol gamben dingol
let us see Gambia.
ntol be nyanta gambia la jala de
Let us see Gambia first.
ntol be gambia je follow bang
The trend in this country
kul kata nyami nyim banko kan
is very sympathetic.
bala fa warta bak
We have taken politics
ntol le politiko tale
to put it at the forefront of
nga
everything.
kenya to be fen fen kala nga politiko le londi ngole ke follow
Let us be reminded,
nga ansen fang hakilo bulandiko
politics
politiko
is just like a game.
akamtolo ko do game wolem do
When you are in the field of football,
yalo ni be football filo kon
you have 11 players in both sides.
ika motan ninkili ke wala soto ani min nyanta plela wo fana motan ninkili
At the end of the day,
mu akul muje labanta nyawanya
one team has to win.
fo kiliye gagné dorong
politics is the same.
politiko bo wala nyama
All sides cannot be winners.
mo ku fana be de gagné no la
But it is important that
bara ku mata ko
that one team that wins,
team kilimo mi wala gagné ta
we all celebrate together.
be na nga be nga fe nga kidibande
Because we must be reminded that
katu nyanta kan hakilo blandi la ko
we the elderly,
ntol mi yalan ko ntol mo alfaleti
our days are gone.
ntol lawato tambital
So we have to
and sa nyanta ka minke
work hard
ka do ku ka kendeke
to leave a good legacy
ka kutu jami yalon ka be kala tarikolti
for our families
burun na dimbali
and others yet to come.
ani mol mi yalan ko wolman na folo fam
My appearance here today
na be mo jambi
was centered on so many areas.
ku jamala da dum ta kono
I was a former Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambian Armed Forces,
nteketa nun sojerol nyaton ko le tunu
and I thank God
anu nga ala tentu
that I happened to be the first to be promoted to general rank.
nga ala tentu nyinkanken teleketa mo folo de mi yalan ko yene maka mo kafu kanke general
It was not because I was better than the others,
amanke ko niaje woketa amanke ko mfisata la wodolti
not
mfisata wodolti le
because I was more landed than the others,
wala nkaranta wodolti le
but that was the will of God.
bare ala la nyinta wala
And it has ever been my position
andana watu wala la kangote dron
to discharge my duties
kana do ko ga nyanta manyal
in the right way.
ka tilinde silo kan
But hence I am human,
bare bawon damo hadama dingolti
and to err is human.
anu hadama dingo ase watu wata ase mistake o keno
During the course of my duty as Chief of Defense Staff,
watu mi alan ko manna do ko ke kan kontelen sojar nyaton koti
I might have made some mistakes.
aske no ngakul kala mi alan ka manya na kala
I might have had some shortcomings
and aske ngakul ke mi alan ko amanken sawoti
that wasn't deliberate,
amanke ko ngaken sawole kan
that
ngomi
wasn't willful.
and amanke ko ngaken ni diala kan
Those that were arrested
mol mi yalan ko yole muta
and subsequently prosecuted and sentenced,
ye samba kiti bon to ye kiti ndi luana te bulole
I want to say to you that
mba flale ko
it was my conviction
ndefo kan
that during the investigation,
wado mi na kisikisiro dabe mutari
to see to it that
ka jeko
all of you were fairly treated.
ye atol be mi yalan ko ya tolle tuminu ya kuol tamande silola
In fact, that was why at one time,
wala fo ngati na wati sotota num fa
when I saw one of you
kabri ngatol kilinja atol kono
in the name of Farin Sanyang,
ka fo mi e faring sanyang
in that type of terrible situation,
ngaje abu wo kole ya kono
it really hurt me,
wo kiyata nyabakale
because that was not what I wanted to see.
ka to man amanke lefta no wala jela
And also during that time,
and wo wato fana
we worked hard
na do wo kele kende ka
to see to it that
ka je ko
the ground was level for all of you.
ka je ko kuol be tembatale nyanta tambela nyami
But hence, we did not have complete control over you people that time.
bara ayatara wo wato fana amanke ko to Allah kuol be maralin tol blablu abe mume
Some things might have gone wrong.
ko dol ke da miyan ko wol manyana kala
As I was the most senior on the ground that time,
ko atugo wato ntele makamo siata mo min bebe nunje
I wanted to take charge of all situations.
sa lefta lola ko wol be la miyan ko wolle keta
I wanted to take charge of situations at the time.
wato lefta ka lo ko la miyan ko wolle be ke kan wo wato ko
But that wasn't the case
bar wo man na ka koti
because of what the situation was.
ka to wayatara ko wol be lare no nyami wole whatsapp
So therefore,
sa wokan
I want to say to all of you,
mba fala tol be ko
in one way or the other,
nyin sila do wala sila nyin silo
whatever might have happened,
fama fe miyan ko wole keta
it wasn't our wish.
amanke ko ngole ngania de
It wasn't our will.
amanke ko ngole fana hamede
To the extent that
fo kata fo
some of you went through
atol tata kol miya wala latal kan
some difficulties
ko le akol to
as testified by you before this commission.
ko malia fo nyami janyin commission o nyati wala
So I'm saying that
mba fola ko
if I have,
na tara ko
in one way or the wrong, or the
sila
other,
killing nyin sila dole mba wala sila dole mba
if I have in one way or the other
na tara ko nana ye kuke
wrong any of you,
ngamo tonye
I want to tell you that
mba fole ko
it wasn't deliberate,
amanke ko ngake nsawalla
it wasn't intentional.
amanke ko ngake nganiola
Then I say sorry.
mba fola yale yam funye
I've said it here to err.
nga fola num jango komi hadama dungo pra kuke miya manyang
It's human.
o mo hadama diya dama na so dama la
I
wadi
did my utmost
ngana ko be kata
to make sure that
kaje ko
All of you,
atolbe
we are fully taken care of.
ya toboto yental toboto la
We
nyami
are given the opportunity.
ya wato fana dialla
And in fact, that was what
wala fonga yatin fang
led to my removal from the panel.
fo yem bondi wo alfa miyalan ko wollebe kisikisi lola
When the case of Sirif Mustafa Deba was brought before the panel.
kabre wato miyalan ko Sirif Mustafa Diba ala ko nata wo alfa nyati lona.
So I say sorry to all Gambians
Ba fola Gambian dingol be ko alisa yam fonye
that
ko
we are one family.
tolbe mo kilingol leti
But the good thing is,
bare ko be mo minti ko kendo be
those very people I'm talking about were involved in alleged coups.
ni mol mi an gaddam wala molti mi an ko ye tumile ko e blota kudeta la kon
I'm happy that
kontanta ko
during the investigation,
wato min na kisikisiro dabe mutare
they accepted.
isonta
During the court martial,
kabri wato fana ye samba sojaro la kiti bungoto
they denied their involvement.
balanta ko e damantara kudeta
But when they appeared before this commission,
kabri na te lota nyin commission o nyati no
they all confessed of their involvement,
itol be na ta sata ko tengo ko e dabe non kudeta
that yes, they were involved.
wa ko to nyale dabe
So the bottom line is,
sa ko labandula
yes, they were involved.
ko mi wole dabe jele
Probably
asikeno
their denial
illa balon
might have led to
asatina no
some actions being taken.
ye ko do lekan
But like I said,
bar ko nga fo
the
nyami
panel was not in complete control of that situation.
alfa mi yalan ko lebe kisikisi rola ko amantara ko be marali
And
tale
I believe that is why this commission is set up,
anu ngamira ko wajji ko kanne ye nyin commission o londi
to correct the wrongs.
pour kaje ko kuol mi yale man tiling se
And
tiling
I want to assure you that
andu mbay tan la tol be ko
we will all work together
tol be do ko kala nyokanne
to correct the wrongs.
kaje ko kuol mi man tiling ngati
Because
katuko
it is not the best thing.
awo manke ko di mi yalan ko wala nyinyata
It's not the best way
amanke siloti mi yalan ko wala sila kendoti
that we Gambians are known for.
ntol gambianol yellon daji ko min
I also want to thank
be fana be tentiro futandila
members of my family,
no badingol ma
of course my friends,
katan teri malla
my good wishes.
ani miliyan ko yenganya kendo soto
Certainly when you are in such a situation,
ya lo wato dol bi je ni be wo ku ko ya sifal ko
this is not a difficult situation.
ni manke ku ko leonte fa
It is a situation that you come to say what you know.
ni mo dinkrati mi an go ye min londre bina ye wala fo
So you must thank those that stood by you.
sa e fe mol jey mi yalan ko wolle lote balake fasa
And certainly my family,
andum wol ko non na dimbal dabe wolto
my friends
nteri mal
are among those.
aning dol
I also want to make a plea to this commission.
andum be daniro fona kala nyin commission oy
There are certain things that I want them to look into.
left ko dol bi je leftale ye wol jibe
I have noticed that
ngajere ko
there is a particular group here
mo dol bi je mi yalan ko mo dantang
that have been left out.
yewol bula ko male
The present government
mi man sakunda min bellorinte
is composed of
ye mol min keje
almost all the tribes,
siwol be dabijela
all Gambians.
gambianol be dabijela
However, I have noticed that
bar hani wo be ka ngajela ko
there are people
mo dol bije
who have been left out.
yewol bula ko male
There are officers
mol bije mi yalan ko wol mo nyaton ko lati
who did nothing at all.
wol ma hani fenneke
Who did nothing at all, I say again.
mba fola ko ten ko wol ma hani fenneke
Who have been relieved of their duties.
yewol bondi la do ko wala
And I believe that
adu lata ko
if we want to move forward,
na ta leftata la nyatole
that should be discouraged.
manya na kala fenti mi yalan ko nyanta ka fasa après
By this I mean the likes of
ko min benyi min fo ka benyi mol ma wala mol mi yalan ko ti
Navy Captain
navy captain
Silla Kujabi,
silla kujabi
Colonel
colonel
Bojang, Brigadier General
Savage
I have a list.
tol be safari mbulle
I could not remember all in the list.
nte hakilo be te bulano la wo mol min be dabi
These are people
ñul mu mol lati
that have not heard
mi yalan ko ma moy
of anything that they committed.
ko min fem ye mi yalan ko yake
This is something
ni mu fenati mi yalan ko
that hurts in the heart.
akadimi mbake jusotole
Probably the commission may not know.
asike no fona commission o man
All these people most of them have mentioned.
mo mi yalan ko ngel to foten
They belong to the Jola tribe.
komi idabe siyolte ka fo milia jolal
I know of former managing directors
nga long milia long ko kata nyaton kolti ka fo managing director
were relieved of their duties.
ye bondi la do kolto
Probably they belong to one tribe.
Aske no idabe si dole kon.
And I don't think this will help.
An mamira obe mako erkela de.
If we say we want to move forward
Na taranko lafta tala nyatole.
as a country.
Ntol banku dingol.
I recall in the days of the former president Yahya Jammeh.
Hakilo bakanu ya jemela mansa ya maralo wato kon.
In fact, in his cabinet,
Ala cabinet o fon kon.
there were no more than 2 Jolas as ministers.
Jola amanta mi jola fula la miliyaran ko yewole ke minister.
In the military,
Soldier of fana.
people who handle chiefs of defense staff position.
Mol mi yalan ko wala matra nyimaka makumale ka fo mi chief of defense staff.
We are not, most of them were not Jolas.
Wo mo jamal bige manke jolati.
I have said it here.
Nga fo len jango.
When I was the chief of defense staff,
Wato mi antamo chief of defense staff.
my deputy was Inte Jola.
Mi bulata noma wo manke jolati.
That was Masane Kinte.
Wala masane kindedi.
The chief of the army staff,
Chief of army staff.
Yankuba Drame,
Yankuba Drame.
was Inte Jola.
Wo fana manke
The
jolati.
chief of naval staff,
The chief of naval staff.
Sajo Fofana,
Sajo Fofana.
was Inte
Wo
Jola.
fana manke jolati.
So we had other tribes also in the hierarchy of the armed forces.
Sai nata si ko dongol fana so to komi sojar kunda ila mahamol be lolu ñoy ñami.
But for now,
Bari sai thing.
I can say most of the officers who belong to a particular tribe,
Komi sa fo ko mo mi yalan ko ye makama kuma soto.
particularly the Jola tribe,
Sakatuma mi yalan ko wolen jola siyo ñin.
have been relieved of their duties.
Ye wol bondi la do ko wala.
This country, the Gambia,
Ñing banko Gambia.
never experienced any tribal sentiments.
Wol na mambula si kutu si fotam fansi ku ko.
I personally sitting here,
Nta min fon ko no be sirin.
I'm a Jola by tribe.
Nta mo jola dinia jibe na siyoto.
My first wife is a Jola by tribe.
No musu folo ni wo fana mo jola alti.
My second wife is a Cyril Wolof.
No musu folo nyawo ñi wo mu sere ti
But
wo.
with my first wife, the Jola,
Bari na musu folo ñi jola ñi.
those who know us will attest to this.
Mol mi yalan ko ye long wo be ñi senandi no.
I have never spoken Jola with her.
Nana man jola kan fo.
Our language of communication has been Mandinka.
Nka diamu kan min nanu wala mandika kan.
Up to today, we communicate in Mandinka.
Fo bi nka diamu ani mandika.
Because we were made to understand
Bari komi yen londi ñun min nando te.
that language doesn't matter.
Komi kan wo man kumaya.
It should not be a barrier.
Amanya na kala bantambiloti de.
It should unite us instead.
Anyanta mbo mkafula la ngaka kilinti.
And that is what I want to advise this country.
And left o yama role dila ñim banko.
When issues happen,
Nim ko keda.
we have to learn from them.
Karanje
We have to learn by experience.
karang ko min keta nungi tambita.
And we get the best part of it.
Yaje mukol min gena kuma ta yena fasoto ngoltaji
That will help us.
wala be makoela.
Today, what I see in this country,
Bi nga min ñim banko kan.
politics has divided us.
Politiko le fatandi.
And I want to call on all political leaders
Bari sa mbe kiliro kala mol mi yalan ko wala politique ñaton kolti.
to come together
Ibe na yakafu ñuma.
and sensitize their followers.
Ye diamu la mole mi yalan ko wala ka buleno.
Make them understand
Pour ye fahamundi ko.
it is the country that is bigger than any political
Ko
party.
min ñim banko mi yaja tele warta ye politique parti wo politique.
And in life, there's everything. Everything has a life, has a time in life.
Fema fe yaje balo ko na wato le bala de.
Some of us had served in peacekeeping areas,
Ntol dol ben kono ntatala nun kata kere sabati ndola banku dol kan
and we saw a lot.
andu nga fenja maleje
And therefore,
andu wokan
we stand in a position
mbelo nga lod lata
to give advices
ka yamarloke
to our leaders,
na nyaton ko
to
la
our leaders,
na nyaton ko la
our religious leaders,
na dina nyaton ko la
so that let them take the forefront.
isaje wolle tara nyato ko wol be nyato
I'm scared.
mbe silarine
I'm scared of this country.
mbe silarini banko la bake
And unless
andu fo ka tara ko
our religious leaders,
na nyin dina nyaton ko
our elders,
na alfal
they stand up
yelo
and face this challenge.
yelo ye nyim ko ye nyatilingala
Gambia is a small country.
Gambia mo banko dimba banko
All we should wish for the Gambia is peace and stability.
nyanta mimbe ngan la nyim banko wala kairo ni tenkum
Another point,
ani ngudo fana
Chairman,
chairman
I want to mention here that
lefta ka fo jam fana ko
the Gambia
Gambia banko
is blessed.
ne mata de
But it is
bare aketa
we the people
ntol mol
who still don't understand that blessing.
ntol khanisa wo nemo min keta nyama faham
The Gambia is a tolerant country.
Gambia mo bankol dimi alanka ka song mol male
We have Muslims and Christians
ntol ye christianol ni muslimol les
who live side by side,
min yalanko ntol ni wala katara karakelin
who marry to one another.
min yalanko ndamon le nyofutu
That is the great asset that the Gambia has.
wo mo ku baldi mi yalanko warta Gambia e min soto
So therefore,
o sa wo kam
we should be concerned about our children
da dimbala ko nyanta dawnal de
by working hard
ko min ngado ko ke
to see that that peace and stability
ka je ko kayro ni tankumo
will continue to surround this country.
continue la nyim banko kanya jam
I personally
ndafon ko ndingo
we want to say here that
lafta ka fo janko
I don't see any barrier.
mam bantambili jede
We have a president in place.
no president soto le sainte
When you talk,
ni diamuta
they will say, probably this man wants something from the government.
ni diamuta dore ka fo ko asike nyimmi diamuta den ala ta fenna la masakunda
I have one high regards for Senegal,
Senegal ne bunya bake ko
and I always envy Senegal.
adun Senegal ele ko aketanya nyabo tati Senegal banko
After politics,
ni politiko be da boro
they become one family.
itol be ka kilinati
They become one family.
be ka kilinati
They do everything together as a family.
itol be ka ku kilingol ka komi be mo dimba kilingol
That is what I want to see for this country.
lefta ko wala nyim banko ka
We are approaching elections,
kadam felen kata kate fayo kan
but the atmosphere
bari ko nyanta kala nyami
is not good.
amon betat
It's not encouraging.
ando amon ke fendi mi yalan ko nyanta
must
mo
all stand
pasala ka tol be nyanta lola
And see to reach that,
ka je ko
that atmosphere
wo lo nya kendo
of fear
komi silan kan
is removed from the people.
yo bondi mol sondo mo
And let us know that
nga nsa lonko
it is not politics that brings us together.
amon ke politiko len ka fundi nyoma
We are together because we are one family.
tol bebe nyokane katum be mo dimba
If you go
kilingol
to the village I come from,
ni botan nte botan sate minto
Sintet village.
ika fo dami sinted village
Sintet we have many tribes.
sinted bang sate o kono nga si jaman le soto
We have Jolas,
nga jolal soto je
we have Fulas,
nga fulal soto je
we have Mandingos.
mandingol soto je
All kinds of tribes are there.
yes yo si mira bijele
We don't have a problem of tribal sentiments.
si fatam fanso man ka kole akotin tole
I have friends here with me.
nga tero soto mi ay ben fe jam
Most of my best friends here in the Greater Banjul.
ni bañul tundo la jan na tero mi an ko tere sahare ringol le moyti
Some of them are Fulas,
wol jamal bije fulo le moyti
some of them are Mandingos,
dol bije manding ko le
some of
moyti
them are Wolofs.
dol bije surwal le moyti
So I don't care about what tribe you belong to.
sa ndamo o man kente fenti ibota siyominto
Then I want to pray to Almighty Allah
lefra duala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala
that Allah brings our hearts and minds together.
ay hakkilol ni sondo mo be nati kaka
Allah
keleti
brings the heart and minds of tolerance,
anu ala sende ma nga son nyoma juso be son nyoma
where we will be able to tolerate each other
nse son no nyoma la de
as human beings,
ko be mo hadama dingol leti
but not on tribal lines.
bara kana ka nyin kanko si fatam fanso kan
To my colleagues here, my friends,
nyin terol mi ay bijam
certainly
amba fala ko
what I said here
ngamin fo jam
came from the bottom of my heart,
abotan jusuk ngol
and it's something I meant.
andon fenne mi yalan ko akata nyi sula ko wolti
But I want the commission
bari lefta commission o
to
fana
consider those appeals I have made.
nyin danirol min ke yewol fana jibe
I remembered one Brigadier General Alaji Martin.
hakkilo ba kan brigadier general do ka fo mi Alaji Martin
Martin appeared before this panel,
Martin nana nata num janne ka diam
but I have never seen anybody appear before this panel
bari nana ma moje mi yalan ko nata num jang ka si jang
who has been laid off from his work.
ka mi yalan ko ya bondala do koto
But Alaji Martin happens to be laid off from his work
bari Alaji Martin fele ya bondala do kola
from the day he left this commission.
lungo mi yalan ko abotana nyin commission o to
I want to appeal to the chairman
daniro kala ki chairman
and this commission
ani nyin commission o be
to look into the plight of Alaji Martin.
wali Alaji Martin la ko jibe
Certainly, I've followed his proceedings here.
to nyakan nga jibele nung ka wato nabe diamu kanja
I've never heard where he had killed somebody.
Some
of the witnesses that confess killing, they are maintaining their jobs. Probably this has not come to the attention of the commission. That is why I decided to bring that forward here, so that it could be looked into. Chairman, commissioners, lead counsel and lead deputy.
Lead counsel and
I think I don't want to bore you with a long statement, but I want to assure you that I'll be part of those people who will be standing out there to preach peace and unity. For I feel that that is the best way forward for the Gambia. So on that note, I say a big thank you for inviting me here. My coming here was not based on a force. I wasn't forced. I was requested to appear here, and that is how I came. Thank you very much for your attention. May God bless you all. May God be your protector in your discharge of functions. May God bless the Gambia. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much indeed, General Tamba.
General Tamba.
Both for your testimony and your concluding remarks. Very wise and comprehensive. We thank you enormously for coming to testify. There is a general recognition that our country is a tolerant country. Our society is a peaceful society and a harmonious one. However, for 22 years, horrific violation of human rights and abuses occurred here. In order to correct what really happened, we have to know exactly what it is that transpired in this country during that period. And that's what this commission has been mandated to do. To seek the truth of what happened. And we are going to continue doing that. With no deviation. Not any entity would intimidate us from that objective.
Hanif mo wala doku bunda wata atinala kasila dun
senior officials, someone like yourself, who appear before this commission will obviously be in the hot seat as you have been for the past 3 days. It is not going to be as the same Mandinka the hot seat that you have been in for the past 3 days, it's obvious it's going to happen. We're going to put any leader, any person who had responsibility at a very high level in the same hot seat to assist us in establishing the truth. I will read you 2 primary objectives that the National Assembly gave this commission.
Mbe kufula karane jang miyalanko na banko luwa bunda miyalanko wale mata luwa dadala wale ndibitel yembula minna puru nyanta minkala nying commission okono.
It included in that list
Adabi jele wodia yembula minna.
We address impunity.
Komi mol miyalanko yakuja wolke feman na boje.
We're going to come to that at some point.
Mina wotole watido.
It also mandated us to prevent a repeat of the violations and abuses suffered
by
making recommendations for the establishment of appropriate preventive mechanisms, including institutional and legal reforms. We have for the past month or so been looking at institutional issues. We will continue doing that to be able to make appropriate recommendations at the end of our work. Nothing would deter us from pursuing this mandate. We will do it until hell freezes over. Sorry, was until hell freezes over. Well, I don't know how you're going to translate that, but I was leaving that to your interpreter. But I just want to emphasize that we are not going to be deterred from what our objective really is. Again, I thank you very much, General Tamba, for coming to testify before the Commission. Council, before we conclude, you have some exhibit numbers to give, I believe. Please proceed.
Yes, I will provide them tomorrow, Mr. Chair.
Oh, tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, fine. Thank you all very much indeed. We will resume our proceedings tomorrow morning, sharp 10 o'clock. Thank you all very much indeed. Meeting is adjourned.